It's time for the 49th Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. With your host, Chris Cashman. Streaming live at natasnw.org. Follow at natasnw for live updates. Tweet about the awards with hashtag NWEmmy. Now, live from the Snoqualmie Casino, here's Emmy-winning host, Chris Cashman.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the 49th Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. This is a thrill. Wow, what a big night this is going to be. I am honored to be here, I'll tell you the truth, because I adore you. There, I said it. I love television. I love this industry. And when they gave me the opportunity, when they asked me to host this night, to be here live with you and in front of you, it's something I simply could not pass up. Tonight is going to be an extraordinary evening. A lot of you are going to leave here validated for your hard work. This is the night that it finally pays off. You're going to leave with that sparkling statue, and your life will honestly never be the same. I mean that when I say that. It's a feeling that you can only... I'm looking good tonight. Still got it. There we go. Cheers to me.
Chris, man, what are you doing? The show's starting.
Oh, hey, Dick Spedstone, what's going on?
You're supposed to be out there.
Shh, and keep it down. The show's already started. I am out there. Nudge, nudge. Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm surprised you can even tell. This is the newest thing. It's all the rage. It's a hologram of me. Nobody in the audience knows any difference. Trust me.
Can I write the check to the hologram?
No, just write it to me. It's fine. Nobody knows, man. You're being uptight. Dean Lewis showed up in a party barge, okay? Trust me. He doesn't even notice.
You've got to go out there. I got to insist.
I'm telling you, everybody does this now. Nobody's performing live anymore. You think June Anderson's doing the news every night? She retired like 10 years ago. My friend said she lives in a boat in the Florida Keys.
On stage. Now.
Okay, all right. You're the boss. You're the president. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Can you hold this for me? Recycle that, please. All right. I'll go out there. Have it your way. Here we go. No, seriously, though, we are going to have an extraordinary evening here. And Dude, it's me. They want me to do it live, old school style. You got to go. You can go. I'm sorry. Okay. This is weird. Just go. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Hey, you know what? Hang on. Let's do a Facebook pic. This is kind of cool, right? Sure. When are we going to get to do this? Right? Here we go. Nice. Okay. Got it. Thanks, dude. You can go. Thanks. I'll see you later. Oh. Thank you very much. Welcome officially to the 49th Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards, the bridge to the 50th, as it's called in the industry. This is a huge, huge honor for me, truly, to be here. I'm not just a guy who's lived and worked in this area. Believe it or not, I've been a part of the Northwest Emmys for 20 years. And I know you're looking at me thinking, you're not that old. You're probably 22. You look like a spring breaker, kind of still chiseled. But the reality is I'm a little bit older than that. But I actually got a chance as a kid in junior high, 7th grade, to be in a skit. My father, who is not with us anymore, at the Emmys live. He's still alive. He's good. Don't worry about it. He's just not here. He's in Central Oregon. He asked me if I would be in a skit on a show called Almost Live on King 5. Pause for applause. Of course. Started comedy here in Seattle and went national. He asked me if I would be in a skit, and I knew what my dad did for a living, but I didn't really get it. I just knew that he went and he did a thing and there was a show and some people knew about it. And he said, would you be in a skit? Would you be in a bit? I said, what does that mean? He said, well, you get out of school for a day. And I said, stop right there. I'll do it. You had me at that. So I was in a little video with him, played on Almost Live. It was a lot of fun. But the time that it changed my life was when all of a sudden I found out that I had been nominated, for real, for Best Male Talent in the Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. I got to go to the awards in 1992. And Steve, could we cue this up? I thought you guys would like to see how I actually got my start. Not a lot of people would want you to see this video, given the braces, the hat, and all of that. But take a look. This is how it started, folks.
Coming soon from Gastropod Pictures. He was the loneliest kid in town, with not a friend, not a pal, not a pet.
Hi, Billy. Oh, hi. Look at my new kitty. Yeah, that's nice. You don't have a pet, do you? No.
His life was empty, his sorrow unbearable. There seemed no hope. And then, a miracle. It was the miracle of Sluggy. There has rarely been a motion picture like this. Never a story so tender, a drama so compelling.
Huh? Look what I found. Can I keep him?
Well, if you promise to feed him and clean up after him and keep him away from the salt, you can keep him, son.
This is the heartwarming story of an ordinary garden slug that grew really big and a family that needed him.
Hey, son?
Yeah?
I just ran out of hair gel. Can I borrow Sluggy for a moment?
Here is a motion picture that will always stay inside of you.
Boy, you know something, Grandma? There is nothing I like more than a mess of your homemade sausages.
Oh, go on with you.
Oh! Oh! Sluggy's missing! Wait a minute, here he is! Sluggy!
It might have been the perfect story. If only time had been a little longer. If only fate had been a little kinder. And Sluggy a little faster.
Sluggy! Sluggy, attack! Let's go! Sluggy, hurry! Move fast! Sluggy, come on! Sluggy!
Son, there's nothing we can do. Go in the house. Get my spatula.
See the miracle of Sluggy. And coming later, the return of Sluggy. Son of Sluggy. Son of Sluggy. And Pride of Sluggy.
Okay, so that's it. That's how it got started. And I remember getting to go to the Northwest Emmy Awards, junior high kid. The braces were just for show. I had really great teeth. That was just for the bit. I remember going, I think it was like 1992, sitting in the audience. I didn't really know what an Emmy was, but I saw them and I thought, man, Evergreen Junior High, I'll be like a hero. I got to get that thing. And it came to my category, Best Male Talent, and I did what most kids would do. When they didn't call my name, I just started crying. I could not help it, and it didn't help that the name they called was Pat Cashman. True story. My father won. Different video, but he won that award. It was a sweet introduction into the business. It's pretty much been exactly that way ever since. But tonight I get my stage. Tonight I get my turn. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys tonight. We have been working hard behind the scenes to pay tribute to you guys tonight in the industry you work so hard in, the best of the best. And then a few people will kind of get lucky tonight. You can decide who's who. But the reality is that we rehearsed the show top to bottom. We've been here all day. And without your acceptance speeches, it was 18 minutes long, the whole show. So if we get to like 3-4 hours, that's on you guys, okay? So what do you say? Should we jump into this? You anxious to get your hand on one of these Emmys? By the way, you've noticed the Twitter wall. That's brand new this year. Hashtag NW Emmy, and you'll be up there on the wall. They almost didn't want to do it because they were worried you guys would get lewd, and I assured them you wouldn't. And your name will be attached to it, so consider that. Here we go, though, with the first category, Promotion News Promo, Single Spot. There are the nominees, of course, and the Emmy goes to...
We're there where your day begins, and wherever it takes you. The Como News Network is changing how you get your news.
Well, the clouds that you see behind me are an indication.
Wherever you go.
A lawsuit alleges the agency's lack of oversight.
However you get there. One network brings you local news whenever you want it.
300 homes were without water.
Wherever you happen to be. The Como News Network.
Thank you, everyone, especially my wife. It's her birthday tonight, and yet we're here. So, thank you, Ann.
Well, that was easy. The next category, promotion, news promo, campaign. Let's take a quick peek at the nominees. All worthy. And the Emmy goes to...
There are a lot of words that describe us, how we work, what we value. But when you have a passion for what you do, every word becomes a promise. King 5 News. Experts, journalists, people who ask, think, feel, so you can trust. It's right. It's real. It's on. King 5.
This is really great because I will register formally my complaint about only being able to put one name instead of having to pay for every name. So this is Rico Benjamin's and Deb Ellis's, Mark Faja's, of course Ryan Sabika, who actually did pony up his own money, and thanks to Rick Swanson as well as the news team that let us do this. Thanks.
Yo. All right, well played. The next category, community public service. Of course, these are PSAs. Single spot. Had just one chance, one crack at it. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
I am for the child who has been abused. The child who is afraid to go home.
Who thinks it's her fault. Who's forced to keep the secret or else.
I am for the child who has been neglected.
The child who does not know where his next meal is coming from.
Who must fend for herself and her little sister.
Alone.
The child who's never been to a doctor.
Congratulations. Recipients couldn't be here tonight. We'll accept that on their behalf, and it will stay with me at my house. The next category, community public service PSAs campaign. Perhaps you'll recognize some of these nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Nothing but a long line of great work that those guys always do. Thank you.
All right, moving along. Next category. We got to fix. The next category is for audio. And the nominees, you're out of the running for next year, are... That was my thing. They didn't do it. And the Emmy goes to...
Interoperability standards that will help make electronic healthcare records
using biometrics to protect their virtual systems and physical
sharing
spaces.
Information securely to ensure global
Developing
security.
Solutions that protect the critical infrastructures, our energy and information.
My name is Lockheed Martin. I'm one of a team of 132,000
technology business professionals.
And I'm helping make the world
a better place to live.
Make the world a better place to live.
I just want to thank Dana and Judah for allowing me to think outside of the box on this one. Thanks.
Congratulations. I would like to point out that in our effort to streamline this and to get you home tonight, if we don't see you spring out of your seat backstage, they go, they're not here. So as soon as I just say they're not here and accept it on their behalf, you were that close. So I'm not saying you have to run, but give it, like 30% Price is Right. Just, hey, there's got to be somebody there, right? 30% of that we can work with. All right, here we go. The next category is director, live or live on tape. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Grade 7. Pick 7.
Micah Hatfield with his first reception this season for 6.
Well, he's playing because of these injuries, but Micah Hatfield is a kid who was playing very well before he had a major break, a wrist. And he's been out all season, just gotten back on the field for about 3 weeks.
Second touchdown pass of the game for Manny Romaine. Good.
So just wanted to thank my wife Heidi, who stays at home with the kids and keeps the house running when I'm out doing this thing that I love directing. And my boss, John Bradford, who lets me do this every week, week in and week out. And all the great crews that capture the pictures and the sound and help us out. So thank you.
Congratulations. Way to go. Wow, things are going perfectly tonight. We knew that they would, and I don't want to brag, but I'm not just a hired gun, a guy who could just come here and host this, and this isn't just because I've produced the awards a couple of years. I was actually chosen as the most compatible person to host the Emmys, and I don't know if you guys, you're on social media, you got Twitter and all this. If you guys have not heard about this, Emmy Harmony, it's for like-minded industry professionals. We matched on 25 levels of compatibility, me and the Emmys. Only one was they thought I was too shallow in my submission tape, a depth of field. It's DSLR, it's the new thing. Some of you guys don't get it. It's catching on, though, so learn it. All right, next category, director, post-production. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
I not be distracted by problems, household problems, and other problems all of the time, permitting me to continue to think.
He listened to her all the time. He did want to be a great scientist. He had a sense of destiny, but he always said, I want to do the best I can for you.
In 1939, Pauline published The Nature of the Chemical Bond. The book was an
to be nominated in this category. This means the world to me. Thank you, Jeff Douglas, for letting me do this show. Thank you to my editor, Bruce Barrow, and wonderful photographers, Greg Bond and Tom Schreider. Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
Congratulations. Moving right along with promotion program campaign. There's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
And now, with this last business, we find ourselves in a most disturbing position. You and I, Holmes, we are in danger of losing our favorite programs. The situation becomes an unbearable one, unless...
Have you any suggestions to make? I thought it might come to this already.
Thank you. I want to thank KBTC. I want to thank Adrian Loska, who really ramrodded this thing onto the air, and a wonderful cast of people who hadn't done it before, but were excellent, and a wonderful crew, Michael Peters, who can't be here tonight, who was the cinematographer. Thank you.
Now, wait a minute. Hang on, because I assumed that's how this was going to go. What you don't know about this man, I got the internet and a smartphone, Jean Moxey stands before you. I don't want to give away your age, but it's ballparking at 87 years old. Standing before you here tonight. First Emmy, right? First Emmy. You might have heard... Now, but wait. I don't want to wreck the mood, but this is probably the least sexy thing he's ever done. What you don't know about this guy, maybe you heard the accent a little bit, he had a big career on TV, directing in TV and movies in the UK before he came here. You go, what? Is he being serious? Yes. Look it up, IMDb, type in John Moxey, you'll see he's a retired DGA director, directed the pilot of Charlie's Angels. He was a director on Mission Impossible, Murder, She Wrote, Magnum P.I., and then some. Friends with Aaron Spelling, a lot of your favorite TV movies. That's this guy. So, I just thought you might want to know that. All right. Following that up with promotion program, Single Spot. Take a look at the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
You know a double blade gives you that clean close shave, and double ply is much softer. Now fraudulent studies confirm a double shot of The Office on CW11 brings on true nirvana. See how the first episode puts your mind at ease and results in hearty laughter. The second episode creates hysteria. And finally, euphoria. Experts agree. Watch a double shot of The Office weekdays at 7 and 7:30 on
Can't believe it. I did not expect this. I'd like to first thank Dean Poore and Winslow Barger, who helped me with the spot, and also Bob Julik and David Fry, doing great work every day. Thank you all the members of NATAS, for doing all the hard work to make this event happen. And I'd like to dedicate this to Brent Anderson, my uncle. Thanks. Have a great night. Have fun.
All right. Congratulations, KSTW. I said it when I worked there, and I'll say it now. KSTW has the distinction, really, of being the only station that is #1 twice. And they've never used that. And I served it up like a softball. Anyways, let's move on with the News Special. Are you up for this one? Take a look at the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
A Little Boy Lost.
This is now a very massive search to find this little boy.
Gone without a trace. Last seen right in his very own school.
I think that he wouldn't do something like run away from school.
Nobody's seen anything, nobody knows anything, everybody's just guessing.
A family divided joins together to search and plead for his safe return.
We're gonna bring you home, buddy.
Then fractures again.
I also want to thank our director on this, Paul Kenny, who's much more than just a director. He's a fabulous creative mind in his own right. And I also want to thank Tracy Berry, who anchored that, and as usual held it together with just great grace. And a reminder to all of you, those of you in Portland, it's kind of a bittersweet win. Kyron was missing 2 years ago on Monday, so there's been a lot of more talk about that. So thank you.
All right, here we go with Information Program Special News. Let's take a quick peek at the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Wasted taxpayer dollars. You paid for the state employee to sit home and do nothing.
I was in here paying Farm Bill and getting all my benefits and mortgages.
Our investigation causes the governor to call for an end to the wasteful spending. We go inside this woman's around-the-clock daycare.
Or you just...
I'm surrounded by a group of terribly wonderful and talented people, so I'd like to thank them and also the people who are making a difference in this world. So thank you.
All right. Love it. We have cracked open the news categories, and I love the news categories. I was never smart enough to do news, but I love the imaging. I love because news is all about reporting the news, but it's like how you put your unique twist on it, how you guys do it different from the guys who are like right across the street. We were there first. We were there before they were there. We were there before the news broke. We broke it louder, right? You've got to put your spin on it. How do you do it different? That's what you try to do every single day. But let's be honest, every now and again, you do it exactly the same way. Steve, if we could play this tape, and I warn you, what you're about to see is real, and it is pushing the envelope.
Talk show host Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be able to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on his late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night TV.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope once again on late-night TV.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien is looking to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night TV.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be about to push the envelope on late-night television.
Conan O'Brien may be preparing to push the late-night envelope.
If I didn't recognize any of you in that clip, we just want to acknowledge it happens, all right? I'd also like to acknowledge something that just came to my attention via the Twitter wall. Hashtag NWME. Where's table 31? Where's table 31? Give me 30% Price is Right. We've already been through this. There's a proposal at that table. Is this for real? Or did you write it wrong? Did you set me up? Who is it? Show me what he is. I'm stronger than I look. Who is it? Somebody got proposed to. You did it right there? If you're fibbing, I'm calling you out, dude. Didn't happen? Oh, she said no. Awkward. All right. Here we go. That actually happened. Here we go in the category of news series. I should have followed up. See, don't report it first. And the Emmy goes to... Check my sources.
Locked behind this razor wire fence, amid the weeds and woods, you hear the buzz of blowflies and secrets of the dead. Some buried, some bagged, but all here at the Body Farm. Because of forensic anthropologist, Dr. Bill Bass.
Hey there.
I didn't know.
Pretty good. Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Ah, that's a good one.
Oh, my. Well, the odds were against us because when we headed to Tennessee to cover this story and we got on the plane, we were told there was a tornado in Tennessee and the Body Farm had closed. And we didn't know what to do. And we turned it into this. And what's really neat about this is 26 years ago when I was a Cub reporter, I had interviewed Dr. Bill Bass in Knoxville. And I got to go back there and interview him again in my last year at Como TV. And he now is in his 80s and uses this series to start all of his lectures because he's getting up there and he uses it and appreciates us. And so that's an honor to me, and so is this.
Thank you.
Oh, you get in there. You did a lot of...
Yeah, it was a really great story to be able to learn. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And congratulations to table 43. We'll get you some hot towels. See Twitter wall for reference. Next category is General Assignment Report within 24 hours. Not 25, 24. And the Emmy goes to...
A Kirkland man finds a four-legged friend carrying a mysterious message.
The dog is in good hands, but a mystery remains. King 5's Chris Daniels has the odd story in a King 5 exclusive.
High above Lake Washington, in this Kirkland neighborhood, Paul Wu pulled his car out of his garage this morning and did a double take.
I was driving out and then he's just right there.
It was a dog he'd never seen before.
He won't go away.
Pretty unexpected. Chris is much more eloquent and should be up here. I don't know if you guys heard there's a big arena thing going on, so he couldn't quite make it. But thank you, and on Chris's behalf, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, here we go. This is it. No holds barred. General Assignment Report. No time limit. Some of these were just finished last night. There's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
For more than a year on a converted farm just outside of Cle Elum, the warmth of the sun fueled a labor of love.
But then we go back, and once it's tied in, then people go out and clip these in.
Week after week, volunteers built an electric fence and then another. It would be, they hoped, containment, but for the sake of freedom.
So I came home from work one night and I said, my God, I work with chimpanzees. And my wife said, you say that every day. And I said, no, I mean it this time. We had a blast on this. This was Eric's idea, and he shot the hell out of it. There was little GoPro cameras everywhere. The chimps didn't know what to do. Great time, and he did a great job.
We're lucky to have...
Darren Tegman, by the way, edited it. Fantastic work.
We got the rarest of things on daily news stuff, which was the second day to shoot, and it really made the difference for this story, and it turned out really good. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Como TV, last year's Silver Circle inductee and six-time Mr. Olympian, Dan Lewis.
Thank you very much. Making it to 25 years in this industry is challenge enough, but making it 25 years in this industry and committing to do something special with that time is what makes one worthy of the NATAS Silver Circle. And you know, we are really blessed here in the Northwest to have truly dedicated professionals in broadcasting who have a genuine passion for their job, for their community, and for their colleagues. And it's those individuals who are selected from the group of many nominated every year as the recipients of the Silver Circle. Just putting in those 25 years while a feat in itself isn't enough to earn induction. It's dedication. It's commitment to do more than the minimum. It's passion for making a difference not only in the industry but in the community and the world around them. The people who are in the Silver Circle are leaders, innovators, mentors, and people who challenge not only themselves but others to do better. Wow, to be included in a group like that is quite an honor, as I found out last year when I was inducted into the Silver Circle, and I thank you again for that. But tonight it's my pleasure to welcome the newest group of inductees. A committee of people in the Silver Circle and NATAS board members has the unenviable job of reviewing a terrific group of nominees and selecting only 2 to be inducted tonight. And I hope you'll agree these are very worthy selections. To introduce our first 2012 Silver Circle inductee, please welcome Beth Hester.
I never thought I'd have to follow Dan Lewis. So thank you all for being here tonight to join me in celebrating the work of my friend and mentor, Gary Gibson. When I sat down and tried to think about what to write about Gary this evening, and then of course I was told that I had a minute to do it, I thought about, do I talk about Gary and all of his accomplishments, his 26 years at KCTS, his tremendous passion for the arts, the groundbreaking work that he did at the Seattle Channel, raising it to a level that is competitive with many of the folks in the room today? Or do I talk about Gary the person? And I thought about, well, I really want to talk about Gary's legacy. So when I think about Gary's legacy, I really have to talk about Gary the person. And I want to say that Gary is somebody who, my experience with Gary has made me a better professional and a better person. And when I think about Gary's legacy, it's not the tremendous work that he's leaving behind, all of his productions at KCTS, all of his productions and awards, but it's all of the people that he's touched, myself included, some of my friends and colleagues in the room this evening, who were inspired by him and were taught by him and were basically challenged by him to be the best professionals, the best video professionals, the best storytellers that we could be. And, you know, it's a funny thing. I was new to television when I first met Gary, so I learned a lot of just television from Gary, not just kind of how to be a manager or how to be, how to kind of grow as a professional. But I learned a lot of television from Gary. I learned very simple things like tell a big story from a small place, or let the moment resolve, or be patient. And these are things that in my current position, which has been very challenging and interesting in and of itself, I come back to over and over again. And I'm not really in television anymore, although I do work with some of you fine people still. And I have a friend in the room, Kurt Weiss, and one of the things that we still kid around about is the expression WWGD. And it is a true expression, and it is one that I use at work, and I use at work at least once a week, and it's what would Gary do? And it always reminds me that in the moment, there's kind of a standard of professionalism, of quality, of excellence that I want to hold myself to. And I am proud to call Gary Gibson my mentor, and I'm proud to call Gary Gibson my friend, and I am thrilled that you are all here to witness the excellence in his career as well. Thanks, Gary.
Gary's first work in television was at King TV in the late 60s when he worked for two inspiring men in the local television business, Ansel Payne and Jack Fury.
The following is a production of KCTS, Seattle.
In 1973, with a degree in communications from the University of Washington, he started work at KCTS on the production crew.
Hey, you, sir, how about a tour of the Space Age World's Fair? I'll take you to show you.
Over a 26-year career there, he did every job in production: director, producer, reporter, executive.
1849. The Fifth Avenue Theater has opened its third show of the season on a clear day. This is Hi, welcome to What's Up. I'm Gary Gibson.
Gary's greatest contribution to broadcasting is in, I think, the arts. Gary was a part of everything that we did in the 80s and 90s, clear up to early 2000s. He was a part of every public affairs series that we did. He took the medium of HD and he used it. He was one of the first producers to work in HD, and he made these beautiful programs. We produced the opening of Benaroya Hall together.
Of the 10 videos that have been made on my career, Gary did the first one for KCTS. It was also the first HD film that KCTS did. I think it did a great deal for my career.
In 2000, he ran away to join the circus and was general manager for Teatro Zinzanni, the live theatrical production in San Francisco. He returned to Seattle in 2002 to become the founding general manager of the Seattle Channel. There he managed a team that created the Emmy Award-winning shows City Inside Out, City Stream, Community Stories, and Art Zone with Nancy Guppy.
He came into the Seattle Channel when it needed some help and guidance, and he was able to kind of structurally kind of point it, turn the ship in a certain direction.
This vision of how you could have a really local television station that touched local arts, that touched local politics, the kind of local television that you could only dream of before. The Seattle Channel was named the best municipal station in the nation for the past 5 years.
Gary is always the guy who reminds you that this should be fun.
A super smart guy.
This is a person who knows how to bring people together.
He really knows how to get to the center of the subject.
Totally rocks the mustache. Very, very stylish. Really stylish, and he owes me money.
The artists of In Public are challenging our perceptions of what public art can be.
Gary's work in the arts has benefited everybody in the region. When you think about all of the programs about artists and the arts that Gary produced, worked on, helped make possible at KCTS 9 and then the Seattle Channel, we are a better community for it. We know so much more about our own artistic community and the arts in this region because of Gary Gibson. I can't think of any other person in media who had such an impact on the arts than Gary.
Gary really deserves to be recognized in this way. I'm not sure what kind of prizes he gets. I hope the Silver Circle actually involves some sort of like silver, for the real deal.
Rock the road to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Gibson.
So I'm feeling really fortunate tonight.
I've always felt really lucky to work in TV. As Chris said tonight, I'm one of the lucky ones up here tonight. I always thought it was great that people would pay you to fly around the world, drop down in somebody else's life, ask them questions, and they answer you, and they share their stories with you. I was thrilled with that, almost every time it happened. I really loved being part of this television community, and it is a community. All of you have done an amazing amount of good for individuals and ideas and causes. I've worked for 3 television stations here. King, a really long time ago. KCTS, where I spent just a wonderful 26 years with people who are still dear friends. And most recently with the Seattle Channel. And I think I have friends at many of these other places that you all work. I'm thinking tonight of all the people I've worked with, and I'm also thinking about a lot of friends who are not here tonight, who are not with us anymore. People who meant a lot to me. No matter how good you are in this business, you can't succeed without the collaboration of other people. People say it's a team sport. It really is. No matter what you do, you can't do it by yourself. And for me, that was always sort of the very best part. Some of the best times of my life have been spent in editing and control rooms. Also some of the worst. You all know exactly what that is. I feel like some of us here together were pioneers and we were innovators. We took some risks. We had a whole lot of fun. And we made some things that I am really, really proud of. And as you saw, I did some dumb stuff too. I'm still amazed at the speed that video technology has changed. When I started, I was working with film and 3/4-inch tape. Now it's on little HD chips. There were no websites, no streaming, no 24-hour news, no social networking, and there really wasn't even the clicker. I mean, that was kind of just starting. But there was storytelling, and for me, that was always the center, the very center of what we do. Facts are good, but what we need to hear are stories. I think we all learn best and we change from hearing stories that resonate with us, something that reaches your heart. I feel like I still have some good stories to tell. I'm kind of moving into the world of independent documentary production when I want to do it, and I'm thrilled to be doing that. To my wife, Janelle, and to NATAS, and to all of you, thanks for giving me the ticket and letting me take the ride. Thank you.
Congratulations, Gary. Well done. All right, folks, we're going to get back into the Emmy Awards. And I know a lot of you got that nervous thing going on in your belly because some of you are going to receive one for the first time tonight. And even if it's not, there's just this feeling you can't quite describe. Some of you will hear your name, you will jump up, you will come up here, you'll be charismatic, you'll thank everybody, you won't forget your wife or your girlfriend. Others will get up, you'll freeze, you'll stumble over your words, you'll feel silly. And others will demonstrate what Chardonnay can do to your brain. The point is there's no rule book. What happens when you win an Emmy? What do you do? How does it change your life? It's got to, right? Well, I happen to be, I hope the distinct honor of being the first person to receive an Emmy for content produced about the Emmys and aired exclusively at the Emmy Awards. Yep. Steve, could we cue that up? Finally, there is a survival guide, what to expect when you win an Emmy.
Emmy goes to you! Congratulations! You're an Emmy winner now! Your world is about to change! With that golden lady in your hands, you're filled with a new confidence. Stand taller, smile brighter, and keep your Emmy handy at all times so you can rub it in everyone's face. It looks great on your desk, but who will see it there? Better to take it with you as bling, or fasten it on the hood of your car. Talk about a belt buckle. That golden sparkler is a real eye catcher, so keep it polished and gleaming directly at the sun. But when the sun goes down, the crooks come out, so keep that golden girl in a safe and secure place. Next to you in bed, or in your Northwest Regional Emmy-approved climate-controlled and laser-protected security vault. Keep a watchful eye over it, for there are many more Emmy losers than winners. Losers who would love to get their grubby little hands on your Emmy. And remember, your new Emmy is more than a symbol of your vast superiority. It's also a great conversation starter. We recommend bringing the mention of it whenever possible.
I'll have the soup and Emmy. Did I say Emmy? I meant sandwich. I said Emmy because I have one. In fact, this one right here for excellence. Yeah. How about fixing me an excellent sandwich, my man?
Ah, yes. Co-workers and strangers alike will be thrilled to hear about your success. You're on Easy Street from now on. Hard to believe you were ever just another hopeless nominee. Kick back, relax, and start coasting into retirement. You're an Emmy winner now.
That's exactly what it's like. So, who will be the next to come up here validated? And who among you will leave without so much as parking validation? Let's find out. The next category, Business Consumer News. There are the nominees. And one of these sparkly Emmys goes to...
Founder Craig Newmark made it clear from the beginning, the policing of ads won't be by Craigslist staffers, but by its users. That's led to a shootout. On Craigslist, it's the Wild West. Anybody can be the sheriff. Got something to sell? Go ahead, post it on Craigslist. But there are others ready to take you down faster than Clint Eastwood's six-shooter.
I'd like to thank Clint Eastwood for helping out on that story. He made my day on that one. I'd really like to thank Kiyomi Taguchi, who shot that, Darren Kageman, who edited it, Jennifer Austin helped set it up, and it's about the vicious flagging that's on Craigslist. If you're not aware of what's going on there, it's really a big, seedy, undersea world, but under web world, I should say. But again, thank you very much. Thanks, Jim and Holly, for keeping me employed. Thanks. Bye.
Congratulations. Craigslist not the only place where you've been flagged. You actually got flagged by Como TV right there for winning that. Just that you should know. Check Twitter wall. Did that come out that way? Twitter wall. Tongue twister. Who knew? Environment News. Here's the nominees. Let's see who's going to take home the next Emmy.
Gordon Hempton begins recording in this place he calls 1 square inch of silence, and he loves what he hears. A raven reminding us of nature's hold on us. And then, a reminder of why Gordon's out here at 1 square inch. It's his way of making noise about the noise.
Well, I'm also one of the lucky ones to work with the extraordinary Doug Burgess. I'm just so grateful for the partnership, and also so grateful that Mark Ginther, about 3 years ago, invited me to come on board and tell some stories. Thank you, Mark. I'm forever indebted. Doug.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
The winner for Best Acceptance Speech. Mark, way to go. Look at that. Center bar, we'll be there in no time. Health and Science News is the next category. And the Emmy goes to...
Ben simply cannot stop smiling as he starts to feel the instant results.
How you doing? Trying to figure out the colors.
Doctors watch closely as they program and fine-tune the implant to normalize Ben's movement as much as possible.
There's certain things that need to be tweaked, but overall I feel
100 times more normal.
Here we go. We're just waiting for them to call Ben's name.
Ben entered the hospital.
This is on behalf of Tim Becker and Bill Cortez, the photographer and reporter. So thank you.
Congratulations. I love all these categories because as the industry evolves, there's more and more specialized areas you can get into. Politics, social media, all of these things that I did, frankly, when I got out of college, you couldn't even apply for. And I'm sort of excited. I don't want to tip my cap because I don't know if I have the job officially yet. But I will say I'm pretty sure you're looking at the new Invasive Weeds Bureau chief. Be looking for it. It's my thing. I'm passionate about it. Politics, government, news. And the Emmy goes to?
You do hear grumbling about cuts to education or property taxes, but here in Nebraska, many people actually take pride in their state legislature. One reason could be that there's no other state legislature quite like it in the country. As the story goes, Nebraskans in the 1930s were so frustrated with their lawmakers, they voted to cut their legislature from 133 members down to just 49. While every other state has both.
Well, Robert's not here tonight. He couldn't make it. We are so glad to have him back from the dark side. Robert's simply the best.
Okay. There's too many moving people back here. Somebody stole my book. What all the categories? Well, maybe these guys can help. The next category is crime news. I'm going to count on you, whoever is the recipient. And the Emmy.
Wilder, Idaho. It's a small town, population around 1,500 people. It's a place where you don't often think about crime or hear about it. But 25 years ago, there was a murder, a case that still remains unsolved. 4th of July, 1986. It was a Friday. The Lennon family had a picnic in the park.
He wanted us to come over there and spend it with him, so we did.
I am up here to accept on behalf of Kate Morris, the news director at KTVB, an old friend of mine. And I know that she would like to be here tonight, but she's about 17 months pregnant and on the government's no-fly list. So she couldn't make it. But I know that she'd want me to thank her fantastic team of producers, reporters, and anchors there at KTVB. And while I have the opportunity, just want to say how proud I am of Kate that 15 years ago, she was a high school intern tagging along with me out in the field in Boise, and proud of the journalist and woman she's become and all the contributions that she's making to our field. So thank you.
Next category, community service. You've seen these. Did you produce one of them? Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
There's no way to know the true face behind the profile. Be smart. Limit personal information. Only friend people you know.
Thank you so much to my table. Very warm welcome. Foremost, I'd like to thank the Child Abuse Network. It's a group of 30 people, from representatives to 30 agencies with child abuse that deal with this on ground level every day with victims and families. So thank you to them, and to Deanne Everson, who brought everyone together and came to us with this campaign. And then for my husband, who has followed me everywhere and has been so supportive. And I hope this award can help stop the silent epidemic. So thank you very much.
Hello, Northwest Emmys. It's me, John Curley. Hilarious. Wow, look at this. So much competition here tonight in this huge room from Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and some other states that don't matter. They asked me if I wanted to host the regional Emmys tonight, and I said... Why would I? Okay, and then they said, well, who do you think should host it? And I said, are you still asking me questions? And they said, no, we're still asking your publicist questions. And then I said, right, what's the question again? Who do you think should host? And I said, oh, right. Well, if I had to pick, I would say Alec Baldwin or Steve Martin. And they said, well, I don't think we can get either of them or afford them. And I said, oh, I'm sorry you're not happy with my answer. And then they said, wow, you're such a dick. And I said, okay, fine. Okay, if I had to pick somebody, it would be the great Pat Cashman. And then they said, he's not available. And then I said, well, what about his daughter? And then they said, nope, we checked. And then I said, wait, Pat has a son, right? And they said, I don't think so. And then I said, you should check. And they did. So, ladies and gentlemen, your host of the 2012 Northwest Regional Emmys, pause for laughter, Chris Cashman. They don't even like you, Chris.
Well, I would like to point out that one of the busiest men in Hollywood took time out of his schedule to backhand me personally tonight. And I'm never going to forget it, at Joel McHale. Thank you, Joel, for doing that. He is, needless to say, a super busy dude, but he was very cool and carved out some time for us. And streaming online, I'm no doubt he's got nothing else to do in Hollywood but to sit and watch our live stream at natasnw.org, which I'm being told by my father looks great, but the audio's bad. Jeez, is he getting old?
The audio's not, the quality of the audio isn't so good. Everything else is fine, though.
So if we could work on that, just oblige him. Next category, human interest, feature segment. There's the nominees. The Emmy goes to...
No one knows exactly how it started, but it grew like a bacterial infection.
Is this one of the places you wanted to visit when you came to Seattle?
No.
Post Alley's gum wall has been named one of the filthiest tourist sites on Earth.
That's pretty nasty.
Which makes this dare the deadliest.
Well, Jim Dever and Tom Bishop are not able to make it tonight. Undoubtedly, they'd probably be up here saying, you know, they owe all their credit to their wonderful executive producer. Maybe not. They owe the credit to their colleagues at Evening Magazine. So congratulations.
All right, next category. I see it right here. It's Arts Entertainment Feature Segment. Let's take a peek at those nominees and find out who's going to receive this Emmy.
Well, you know what? I don't think I was using my knees.
Starting to guard, Dave Anderson.
Can anyone think of any reason why they haven't called yet? Helen, can you think of a reason? Nope. Hi, Lisa. Hey, can you have engineering fix it? It's broken because I'm expecting an important phone call and haven't gotten it. So.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. This is really important to our television station, AM Northwest, and Steve Denieri do an outstanding job every single day producing local television. AM Northwest is 35 years old and still going strong, and it will continue to go. So thank you very much.
Congratulations. Here we go with Arts and Entertainment Program Special. There would be the nominees. Who's going to receive it? Let's find out.
Hi there, and welcome to the show. I'm Nancy Guppy, and you are in for such a treat this week. Actor Paul Stetler tells us a true story from his life on stage.
And I look at the audience, and I blank.
We get an art event update from Seattle Magazine's arts and culture editor, Brandon Davis. And the one and only Elvez brings it to our studio.
I'm really just here to get this for Nancy Guppy. She puts her heart and soul into this. Also her co-host, a co-producer, Sheila Mullen. This is all about them. Thank you.
She's calling you back there. You're supposed to go that way. They take your photo. There's a whole thing backstage. There's a water slide. There's alpacas. If you got kids, you got to bring them back there. Real quickly, I do want to reiterate how honored I am to be here because, and I don't mean this to be like to make you feel old, but I did grow up watching a lot of you guys, and it's cool just to be around you and to get to work in this industry. All I ever wanted to do was get the chance to work on or around TV, to probably get to work with my father. That was my biggest wish. I get to do that. I've been lucky enough to work for a while now on a nationally syndicated television show, a kids show, called Biz Kids, which is on PBS, just wrapped up its 4th season. Pause for applause. Oh, I'll seduce you further. It's actually nominated for 3 National Emmy Awards coming up, including Outstanding Children's Series. And I'm not going to take all the credit for the success of that show, although I'm prepared to. But the reality is the executive producers of that show, one of them is here tonight. Jim McKenna's here somewhere. He said he was going to be here to rub elbows. He, my father, and some other folks got together and said, let's do something else. We feel like there's something missing. Wouldn't it be funny if we were funny again? You've been warned. It's coming. Steve, can you roll this for these people? This is called a teaser.
All right, let me know when we're rolling, and I'll nail this intro. In one take.
All right, stand by, rolling. Look at the camera, please.
I hope you're having a good time so far at tonight's Emmy Awards. Win or lose, paper or plastic.
Look at the camera, please.
But now...
Oh, come on, look the other way.
Here's a little preview.
To the camera, you idiot.
Of a new show intent on bringing comedy back to local TV.
At the site of the tunnel that is going to be replacing the Alaskan Way Viaduct, we understand that there is some construction delay.
No, that is incorrect. We are ahead of schedule. The seawall is holding up just fine. No seepage, no sewer line fails, no ancient curses.
Did you say ancient curse? What was that?
Settling, you know.
The adult bladder can hold about 2 cups of urine.
Now she's posting on Facebook about my 3rd nipple. Quit horsing around, you guys. No, don't go that way. Go! Run!
It's happening. And speaking of ancient curses, let's do the category of historical cultural feature segment. They're the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
His mother arrived in the States safe and sound. Will be home in about 10 days. Happy birthday. Love, your son Joe.
Captain Joe re-entered life, became a furnace repairman in Bellingham. But for reasons that are still kind of mysterious, the U.S. government refused to acknowledge that any of our soldiers were held at Buchenwald. Joe clammed up. He didn't even tell his own family.
Well, Michael King and Tom Volk weren't able to make it tonight, but they would undoubtedly be probably thanking their executive producer for all of their help. But no, in reality, they'd be thanking their colleagues. So congratulations once again to Evening Magazine.
Way to go, Michael. All right, the next category, historic cultural program special. Easy for me to say. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
It tumbles through a vast wilderness in the center of Idaho. The Salmon River is a storied gateway to a stunning country. The waters of the legendary River of No Return carry visitors on a beautiful journey back in time to historic spots where hardy prospectors and pioneers carved out a life. Meet some of the remarkable people who are...
It is absolutely wonderful to work with a great staff at Idaho Public Television, including producer Bruce Reichert, Pat Metzler, John Kranzer, Jay Krajek, Hank Nystrom, Aaron Kuntz, and the inimitable Jeff Tucker. Thank you very much, Natas.
Congratulations. Hey, super close up. All right, this next category, and this is their job, but they were the first people to give us a hard time for the smoking Emmy logo we had. They think it promotes the wrong message. Health and Science segment. They're the nominees, and they're right. And the Emmy goes to...
Haunting, ghostly trumpets echo around the volcano. Just a couple of miles north of the crater of Mount St. Helens sits a zone chiefly reserved for researchers and wildlife. Here, large herds of elk regularly crisscross the pumice plain. Their plaintive bugling belies their size, the largest animals in North America.
Thank you very much. One person stands above all else in the production of that story, and that is videographer Michael Bendixson. And he's the one who convinced me that we both had to spray ourselves with elk urine in order to blend in to get closer to the animals. I also have to thank executive producer Steve Amon. He created Oregon Field Guide 24 years ago, and we're still going strong thanks to his vision. Thank you very much.
The elk urine. Next category, Health Science Program Special. By the way, elk urine going to be available in the lobby after. And the Emmy goes to...
Oh, sweet. Don't Recently, Kathy Gertzen visited Lisa Wren at her home in Seattle. After getting Lisa's son, Keaton, off to school, the two women sat down to talk about something they both have in common, what it's like to hear the diagnosis, brain tumor.
You know, the day of the MRI, I'll never forget. We got home and the phone was ringing when we walked in the door because the radiologist had...
I had no reason to think I would have any chance of standing up here in a gold dress with gold Emmys tonight, so I'm very excited to accept this for Brian Cherry, who is an amazing director that I've worked with for the last 15 years at Como, and for D.W. Clark, who's a phenomenal producer and puts his heart and soul into these specials for Seattle Children's Hospital. On their behalf, thank you very much.
Way to go. All right, you've been waiting for this one. Politics Government Program Special. Is this the one you're invested in? Are you up there? Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
Issues that matter. You're watching King 5 News Up Front with Robert Mack.
There are some things you never want to hear your doctor say. The word terminal is one of them. Some patients are philosophical, others depressed, and then there's Mary Fairhurst, who believes miracles can and do happen. Up front this week, the state Supreme Court Justice shares her story.
I'm still not Robert Mack, thank you on his behalf, and Laddie Kite and Mike Blakey, who shot and edited that tremendous show. They put it together in one day, and it was a great show.
Congratulations. Changing pace a little bit here with Feature News Report. Light feature. They're the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
This thing's stretched out. Okay, roll over. Go. Feel the ground?
Madrona Hartford.
Does that help you to feel more? See if you can get a real comfortable position.
Hasn't met Sharon Reinking
So disappointed.
or seen her tears.
So brokenhearted. Oh, gosh.
They know about each other. Now they do. But before the gift.
Getting excited yet, Maddie?
I did not know that she had cerebral palsy.
I just want to say real briefly what a pleasure it was to tell Madrona's story and her family. It was just such an honor to learn from her. Just an amazing family, so thank you. And actually, John and I, it's the only time we ever worked together, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're going to work together again, hopefully. Likewise, Madrona and her family, just amazing. And in fact, I reached out to the father and told him that this is being streamed, so maybe they're watching now. Madrona, this is for you. All right.
Nice to see a young guy on the way up, getting his dues finally. I always thought it was weird that Sharifi drove a flatbed truck, but now I get it. Makes perfect sense to me now. Feature News Report. Serious feature. Take a peek at the nominees here. And the Emmy goes to...
1 year back. Back to the last time she was pregnant, a time that was anything but happy. Several weeks into the pregnancy, doctors uncovered a series of problems that led to a bleak prognosis for their future son, Gabriel.
They said he could live for a few hours. They didn't really know.
Faced with such a painful possibility. So this guy's pretty good, obviously. So first of all, thanks to Matt. We want to thank the Hill family and Vicki Zoller for letting us into their lives during a very tough emotional moment. And that's what amazes me in our business, is that people trust us in some of their most difficult times with their stories. And it's a responsibility that we shouldn't take lightly. On a personal note, I would like to thank my partner Peter for all of his support over the years. This is his 5th award ceremony he sat through, which that alone is worthy of an honorary Emmy. So
I'll be quick. I can't say it any better than that. To the Hills, to Vicki, God, what an amazing story. We didn't really have to do anything. We just point the camera and talk. And to my family who's out there, who made the trip from Pennsylvania, my girlfriend Yuli, my grandfather watching on the internet, hopefully my nieces who are in bed right now, I think. So, but hi guys, I'll see you.
Congratulations. Well done. It's one of my favorite categories. I always wanted to be an investigative reporter. So much so that my senior project, I practiced it. I would go to Home Depot and I'd go to the door section because they got them all in, and I just, "What are you hiding, sir? Sir, what's going on in there?" They didn't accept my submission tape. I don't know. I'm still in consideration as far as I know. I'll wait for the phone to ring after tonight. Investigative report. That's where we're at. There are the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
The state of Washington is making big changes following the King 5 investigation. It revealed that tens of thousands of state-issued debit cards are replaced each month. No questions asked. King 5's Chris Ingalls shows how this allows cardholders to commit their crime on your dime.
Go ahead. Go. That's me, walking up to the door of this Mukilteo home. Under that black cap, a question is swirling in my head.
Executive producer Kelly Cheadle and photographer Steve Douglas. We work at King 5, and it's funny, I know this will make a lot of you envious. They don't say to us a story, is it sexy enough? Is it going to get us ratings? They just say, is it the right thing to do? And that's what we go do. And I'm proud of that. So I want to thank Ray Hecox and Pat Costello, Mark Ginther, the news director, the guys that just tell us to go do what we need to do, and we get it done. Thanks.
Well done. All right, this next category, they asked these guys to stop many times and they would not. Continuing coverage. Here are the nominees. Now they get rewarded. We're just provoking them. All right. The Emmy goes to...
Linda, I understand there's something, somewhat of a twist in this one, too.
There is, actually, Lori. When we first brought our findings to the sheriff, she seemed surprised and she was defensive. But then, after sleeping on it, she did something I've never seen before.
The two of us intersected right here on this square of sidewalk. He did a full body takedown on me from behind. I guess he swept my feet out from under me and then pushed my face into the pavement.
Seattle computer consultant Jeff Gold.
Thank you so much. Linda Byron can be here tonight because she was selected to go to journalism law school at Loyola University in California. So I'm sure she'll be thrilled to have won this award. She worked really hard on this, as did Steve, and we just thank you very much.
All right, moving along. Next up is team coverage. Here are the nominees. And in team coverage, the Emmy goes to...
U.S. soil at St. Jack Airport, greeted by a thrilled crowd. She seems to be surprised by the cheers of the crowd, the clapping, holds her hand to her mouth, clearly delighted to be home, and very emotional, thrilled with the support. Amanda Knox on U.S. soil for the first time in 4 years.
thank you very much. Thank you, Amanda Knox, for getting out of jail and coming home. And I'm very proud to work at King 5, the home team. It's a great place to work, and I want to thank my team at home. My wife Kathleen is here tonight. My son Harry is here. He's graduating from high school next week, and he's a heck of a writer already. You can come get one of these, Harry.
It's for real? All right. Wow, this is interesting. In a very dramatic twist, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure how to tell you this. There is a second Emmy in this category.
Rainier announcing the small town has lost.
Actually, I guess it's good news. The Emmy goes to...
Rainier announcing the small town has lost its police chief, killed in the line of duty. Tonight, a community where everybody knows everyone is in mourning. Good evening, I'm Brian Wood, in tonight for Steve Dunn.
And I'm Deborah Knapp. Rainier is about an hour north of Portland on Highway 30. We have team coverage tonight, beginning with K2's Anna Canzano, who's live at Rainier City Hall. And Anna, you spoke with a woman who watched this unfold right in front of her business.
I did, Deb. She owns them.
Thank you. This is a great award to win for this story. We have a great crew, and it was a difficult story to cover, but Don Pratt, our news director, did an awesome job, so thank you very much.
This is SportsCenter.
Hi, I'm John Clayton from ESPN, and I hope everybody's having a great time here at the Emmys. And boy, I tell you what, I am so flattered because to be able to win an Emmy like this, I really treasure.
John, hang on for a second.
What?
Sorry I don't want to interrupt.
I'm making a speech.
I know. I just want to clarify. Yeah. Sorry, Professor. You're not actually receiving this.
I didn't what?
This is just a regional Emmy prop. This is not actually yours. So you're not receiving it. This isn't an acceptance speech. This is just a, hi Northwest, congratulations. Kind of
wait a second. Your name is on this.
Yeah.
Why
I
is
received
Chris
it last year.
For what?
That's not important, John. Look, I'll get out of your shot. You're the man. Just a chance for you to say hi to the Northwest TV people. You're in the Northwest. Not a lot of people know that. So just say, hi, Northwest Emmys. Have a great night. I'm sorry. I'll get out of the way. I'll just be over it. Wait a minute. Are these national Emmys?
Yeah, these are my Emmys.
You won these?
From SportsCenter, yeah.
This is from the Hall of Fame plaque.
Yeah.
This is your Hall of Fame plaque. This is awesome.
I mean, that's why it's so nice to have this to go with that.
Okay, look, I know you're busy, guys, so I'll just get out of your shot. Again, just look at the audience. Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Alaska, hello, and that's it. That's all we need from you. Okay, whenever you're ready, John.
Really baffled, but hey, enjoy the evening. Thanks.
Perfect, you nailed it. That's it. That's exactly what we wanted. They're going to love that. It's going to go over really well. So, thanks so much, John. We're just going to take
it. No, you're taking.
No, I got to take this.
No,
we're going to get out of here.
You're not taking it. No,
John,
you're not
my
taking
Emmy.
it. What do you mean it's your Emmy? You just gave it to me.
Got my name on it.
No, you're not
embarrassing yourself,
no, come on.
Professor. John,
you're not getting it, John. You're not getting it. No way.
It's like you dream about meeting your heroes, and then something like that happens. I mean, it's like, I got too many of these stories. You guys probably saw on Twitter, me and Dennis Bounds, the knife fight at Del Taco. That's not the way it's supposed to go. All right. Now we're in sports. How about the category of news, single story? Remember this moment in sports? There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Dean Walden! Okay, fist bumps, everybody, each person.
She is a remarkable young woman. Ultra competitive, incredibly strong.
Oh no, I like to shoe ice.
Untethered by physical limitation. We learned that when we met Kanya Sesser a couple of years ago. Chasing her dream to race in next year's Olympics. Back then, she also told us she'd like to be a model someday.
This is for Tim Becker. He couldn't be here, but I'm here because I'm the pretty face. So you're not supposed to laugh. So congratulations, Tim. Thank you.
All right. All right, I've been asked to clarify. Me and Dennis Bounds did not get into a knife fight. It was a spork. That's all that they have there. And he got, look, impressions are supposed to be flattery. I just noticed
But Dennis Bounds has a voice like this. And if you slightly change it, it turns into Steve Rabel, Cairo 7, alongside the Hall of Famer Warren Moon.
And he got all furious. I said, if you just shift your tonsils, it's the same guy. Next thing you know, sporks are flying. It's ugly, and I don't want to rehash it. Sports features segment. This is the next category. There's the nominees. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
I was very nervous coaching someone that had just had heart surgery a year before. However, one thing that Phil has helped me with is to realize that you can get back on your feet and you can do the things you want to do and live your life, and you don't have to sit on the sidelines.
The lessons Scott learned that summer stuck with him, but never did they hit home like they do now.
There's some dark times when you go through heart surgery and you don't know what to expect. You don't know what.
First of all, we want to thank Scott Roy, his wife Tristan, his little son Reese. We've had the luxury of telling his story. He's a tremendous coach in the triathlon world in the Inland Northwest, and he had a heart situation on April 29th this year. 2 days before this, I did a half-hour interview with him with the project I'm working on now, and 2 days later, he unexpectedly passed away. So this is for him, his family, Team Blaze in Spokane. His whole motto in life was enjoy the journey, and now that was for the triathlon world, everybody else, but I think it was for everyone, and I look at it now as enjoy the journey in life, whatever we do, whether it's TV or whether it's triathlon. So this is for you, Scott Roy, looking down on us. Thank you.
I just want to add, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to tell the stories of the people that affect our community so profoundly. Scott, this is for you.
Thank you, guys. Very cool. And that brings us to Sports Program Series. There's a peek at the nominees. Well, let's see who the Emmy goes to.
This is a very different fishery. It's one of the few in the entire nation where you have a very strong run of salmon going right through downtown.
We're going to cook this salmon after we brine it on cedar planks. So I'm going to take these cedar boughs, and we're going to take this right here and put it.
It's really a great honor to be up here tonight. And again, you know, this is a labor of love. And it all started with rowing a boat. My neighbor, Bill Grammy, who happened to be a teacher of my partner, colleague, Travis Cooper here, said, "What are you going to do after you retire from teaching and coaching?" I said, "Well, I'm going to produce a TV show called The Joy of Fishing." He says, "What?" He says, "Well, I got the perfect guy for you, Travis Cooper." And I'll tell you what, this guy is absolutely amazing. And then we brought on, you know, an amazing chef here. And, you know, it's just, it's gone, it's unbelievable. And we want to thank everybody. And we're here in the Pacific Northwest, but go Oregon!
Well, Wayne says it all, but we really want to make sure we thank Chef Hanlon, Dr. Patty Scott at Southwest Oregon Community College, OCCI, for taking the first shot with us, and also to the great people at Root Sports for taking a shot with us that first time out. It's the best place for us to be. Thank you so much. And go Oregon again, yeah.
Now, what happened? You guys were like shot out of a cannon when you saw your name, and then you just went... Man, we'll cut it out. Nobody will see it. We're on a delay. Don't worry about it. Nobody will see it. We'll snip it out, and you'll be immediately on stage. Sports One Time Special. Here's the category. There are the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Winning
the dream of everyone who's ever had the courage to strike out for Nome. 1,000 miles to the harshest, grittiest country there is. But the most imposing test will be the one placed on the bond.
Maybe for a carpenter, it's when he builds a house, he looks at the house and goes, wow, I built this house. For me, it's like, I run a little rod and I look at the team and I'm like, wow, I built this team from scratch.
I think they're still trying to finish the Iditarod. We will present them with that Emmy when they thaw out. Congratulations. This next category you can't even fit in a tweet. Sporting event / game / live / unedited program special. There it is. There are the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
The Portland Timbers are back at home, and maybe for the final time this year at Gerald Field. That was at 5:45 this evening for a 7:30 kick.
I would like to thank the Portland Timbers, Ryan Brock and Matt Smith, Ruth Sports Team. Thank you very much. My beautiful bride, Carolyn. My 2 young daughters, actually old daughters, Emily and Shelby, who still let me watch sports for a living. Thanks.
I think we better thank the 2 guys that talk on the TV show that we produce too, John Strong and Robbie Earl. Thanks, everybody.
In breaking news tonight.
Hey, do you have anything in my teeth?
No, they look good. Look good. How's my hair?
Oh, your hair looks good. It's not down low as good, but it looks pretty good.
No, you're hot!
Oh, sorry. Good evening. I'm Jamie Jensen, National Trustee and former President of the Northwest Chapter.
And I'm Scott LaPlante, alternate trustee and former president of the Northwest Chapter. We're sorry we couldn't join you tonight for the 49th Annual Emmy Awards, but Jamie's in Orlando attending the National Emmy Awards Committee, and I'm on the way on a very important birthday.
Where are you?
Actually, I'm in Paris.
Oh.
Yeah, Diane and I are probably right now at the top of the Eiffel Tower celebrating in our own little way.
Oh, well, we don't want to know about that. But happy birthday to Diane, and I'm sorry you're not here. And I'm sorry I'm not here either. We do want to tonight acknowledge a very special part of our committee and our board. For 12 years, Walter Farley has been the guiding force behind the Emmy Awards ceremony production.
You know, I remember that first awards ceremony that he directed. Yeah, at the Westin. You know, Tony Ventrella was going to host, and he says, you know, I'm not going to host unless you hire these 2 young sisters to sing.
Oh, I remember those girls, and I remember the feedback, the horrible feedback throughout that whole song and through the show.
I know, I was backstage and my ears hurt for a week.
Well, that was the first year that Walter directed the Emmy ceremony. Since then, he's been the production manager and the executive producer of the show many times. Walter has taken the Emmy Awards from a single camera production to the multi-camera, live streaming, Emmy-nominated production we have today. Walter had an incredible vision for the Emmy show.
Oh, he had vision, all right. I remember the time when he decided that going to Fremont, to the old dog food factory, was a good venue for the show. We walked in there for the first time to take a look. The place was gutted, and the smell, it smelled like dog food after it had been through the dog.
Oh, I'm glad I missed that meeting. But the Fremont Studios did turn out to be a beautiful and a fantastic venue.
It was a great venue, and you know, the only thing was Walter, I think, was still hanging the curtain by the time the guests started to arrive.
Well, that wasn't the first time. I'm sure that's not the last time that that's going to happen.
Tonight, we wish to thank Walter for his commitment to the Northwest Emmy Awards and for all the support he has given the entire Northwest Chapter.
The Board of Governors of the Northwest Chapter has selected Walter Farley, one of our board members, a longtime committee member, as the recipient of the 2011 Governor's Award. It's a very special award conveyed by the Board of Governors tonight. Congratulations to Walter Farley.
Yes, congratulations, Walter, on receiving the Northwest Chapter's Governor's Award.
On behalf of the Northwest Chapter, Walter, congratulations and thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You know, I got into television. My first exposure to television was a summer school class in the 8th grade, and I thought, wow, this looks like fun. And here I am 38 years later, still having fun. It's about the people. It's about the excellent work that everybody does. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Stanford.
Hi there, thanks, Chris. Our industry produces much programming to be proud of. You're seeing a lot of it tonight. But as we toil to create special moments, something else happens. We create friendships, lifelong friendships. And when their lives end too soon, we pause to remember. Just this week, we lost Arthur Dillaway, who came to Cairo just as they were installing their Avid system and played a key role in that transition. Arthur died this week of cancer at the age of 39. And we remember others in our industry who distinguished themselves as co-workers and, more important, as friends. Like Arthur, they're gone from our midst, and we will miss them.
Jason Augustine spent nearly a decade as an engineer at KXLY in Spokane. A father to 3 children, Jason was best known for his witty sense of humor. A rare disease claimed his life this year. He was just 34. Shane Pike operated the live news van at Channel 2 in Anchorage. He was respected for his high standards of professionalism and his attention to detail. Senior engineer Mitch Frank gave almost 30 years to KTVB in Boise. A great teacher and fan of Boise State football, Mitch lost a battle with cancer this year. Mitch shepherded the station through 3 decades of technological change. Eric Slocum anchored Channel 4 News and hosted on Como Radio as well. But he stepped outside his work to author a book of children's stories that raised funds for pediatric aids at Children's Hospital. Despite his sudden loss in February at 54, those of us who knew him will remember his joyous laugh and kind heart. Kurt Horn distinguished himself as a photographer at KOMO and also at Modern Digital and Victory Studios. His daughter wrote me, "My dad's work was never a job, it was a passion." Kurt shared his skills with many others, whom he mentored to careers of their own. Bill Heinlein was a photojournalist at Cairo for 22 years. He then freelanced as an audio engineer, doing work for CBS 60 Minutes, Dateline NBC, National Geographic, and many others. He was a friend, husband, father, and grandfather. His nearly 35-year career set a high standard for all of us.
Tonight, as we remember and pay tribute to our friends and colleagues who have been lost in the last year, I have the honor of introducing a new scholarship through the Northwest chapter of NATAS. It was just a year ago this month that a dear friend of mine and of many of yours and a Como coworker lost her battle with colon cancer. Tricia Moen worked as a television news producer for 12 years, many of them in our region, and it included at Como, at Cairo, and at Q13. And those of us who were lucky enough to work with her knew her for her spirit, her dedication, and her passion.
Hi, I'm Tricia Moen. I'm 37 years old. I'm a producer at Como, and I have stage 4 colon cancer.
Stage 4 cancer at such a young age. There is no way to explain the shock of that diagnosis. But instead of leaving her job, instead of shutting down, Tricia opened her life to Como News viewers, encouraging everyone to learn the warning signs of colon cancer and to get a colonoscopy.
It's going to make me a stronger and, such a better person than I was, but then I wonder, what do I do with it?
She answered that question, showing her strength as a live newscast guest during Colon Cancer Awareness Month. She was a fundraiser to help further research. She was a dedicated employee.
Nice job.
A fiercely loyal friend. And an inspiration. Because through it all, Trish maintained her sense of humor in ways that could always take you by surprise. She comforted us during her darkest days. As a dying wish, Tricia encouraged all of us to pay it forward, to act with kindness and generosity.
She was light and life, and maybe that's what we're supposed to be. And when you think something's dark and you look up and you see a light, maybe you think of Tricia.
Please help me right now welcome Tricia's parents, Dennis and Kathy Moen, and her sister, Ann Fowler. Dennis and Kathy and Ann, you know that we loved Tricia deeply, and it was an honor to call her a friend and to work with her. Dennis, would you like to say a few words on behalf of your family?
Just a few words. I know Trish would be embarrassed and humbled by the award and the scholarship that's been set up in her name, and that it's appropriate because she really thought that education was very important and really wanted that to happen. But I think the graciousness of the Academy and all the people here that have helped establish this scholarship is a wonderful thing. I know in American Sign Language there's a sign for graciousness, and it's basically like this. And basically it just says that the heart is giving and receiving unselfishly in the gift. And that's what you folks have done, have given graciously to Trish in her honor and her memory. We thank you so very much.
In the video, you heard me say that Tricia wanted us all to pay it forward, and it is in that spirit of paying it forward that another coworker at Como made this rather stunning and incredibly generous donation that starts this scholarship in Tricia's name. This is one individual who has funded a scholarship for 5 years. I'll make just a quick pitch that NATAS would love additional contributions to keep this scholarship in Tricia's name going after this, because the intent is to encourage and support someone who's interested in pursuing broadcast journalism with that emphasis on both producing and writing, two skills that we know are so important. It is where Tricia found her success, and I do believe that we found someone who is poised to follow in Tricia's footsteps. The winner of the first $2,500 Tricia Moen Memorial Scholarship can't be here tonight because she is studying right now in London. So it is my pleasure to introduce you via video to Alexandra Schreier.
First off, I wanted to apologize that I couldn't make it to the event in person to accept this scholarship. I'm in England until mid-June. But on that note, I also want you to know how grateful I am and how meaningful this scholarship is to me. I think it's so meaningful because I know how much it means to those giving the scholarship, both NATAS and Tricia's family. And this is one of those scholarships that is so much more than that. It's about a wonderful woman, and it's about her story, and it's about living up to what she was. And although I don't think I'll ever be able to fill Tricia's shoes and everything that she was, I want you to know that this has really inspired me to be the best journalist I can be, and I will constantly think of Tricia in my journeys and her beautiful smile and everything about her. And even though I was never able to meet Tricia, I feel like I did just because she had such presence even in her photos. And everything I've learned about her and everything I knew when I was applying to the scholarship proved to me what a wonderful woman she was, and I couldn't be more grateful to accept this scholarship. So thank you.
Isn't that cool? Thank you so much to Tricia's family for coming here. Congratulations. We've started something very neat this year, and we want, of course, to encourage your support as we roll on here. And in the category of informational instructional feature segment, take a quick peek at those nominees there. And the Emmy goes to...
On a clear day, the view from Bonnie Butte on the southern flanks of Mount Hood is brilliant and awesome.
Not too many offices have a view out their window like this.
Raptor specialist Dan Sherman calls his camouflage blind best seat of the house.
I mainly look just straight in front of me and then also in the sky off to Mount Hood that way.
Sherman is part of Hawkwatch International's Raptor banding team.
You just get adapted.
Grant McComey unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but he wanted me to thank all the folks at KGW, Rick Jacobs, Rich Kurz, DJ Wilson, Brenda Barati, as well as Travel Oregon, Todd Davidson, and also a big thank you to former KGW news director Rod Grammer for getting this program started. So, thank you.
Yeah. I got to get him to track my packages. Did he have like the coolest voice ever? I was like the rides at Disneyland. Get on, but keep your hands inside. I got to work on my delivery, man. Next category, informational, instructional, program special. I see I can't even do it. That's awesome. Here's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Hello, I'm K2 meteorologist Dave Selesky, and welcome to Go Green. You know, as we're all becoming more Earth conscious, a lot of people are finding new and inventive ways to make their carbon footprint even smaller. In the next half hour, we're going to show you some unique and simple things you can start doing today to help ease the burden on our environment. There's an old saying that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, we found someone who was creating artistic treasures as an alternative.
Thank you. Once again, Steve Denieri at K2 just does outstanding work. He does this feature every single year. He does a great job. So thank you, and thank you, Steve Denieri, for being at K2.
Congratulations. Moving on to the category of interview discussion program special. They're the nominees. Let's see who this Emmy goes to.
Teen sex trafficking is a growing problem around the country, including here in Seattle. Young girls under 18 being controlled by an exploiting pimp. Today, we look at this troubling issue and some of the innovative approaches the region is taking to help these young girls escape the business. But first, we go undercover with the Seattle Police Vice Squad, who were recently out busting John.
My goodness, what an honor. Hopefully I'm not screwing with the audio here. What an honor, and it's incredibly ironic that I'm up here alone, because obviously this is a studio-based show with a team effort. My partners in crime for that episode, C.R. Douglas and Matt Peterson, are both not here. C.R. is very sick. He's probably watching, but he really apologized for not being here. He wants to make sure to thank everyone at the Seattle Channel. Matt Peterson is not here, but he wants to make sure all of you know he deserves all the credit as Photog editor. And I just want to thank the Seattle Channel for this opportunity to keep doing this great piece of journalism. Also want to acknowledge our great studio crew and under the leadership of our director, Vince Pierce, who makes our tiny, tiny studio look fantastic every week. Thank you very much.
The next category, special event coverage. Hey, other than news or sports. Hold your horses. Special event coverage other than news or sports. There's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
For 19 years in a row, KCTS has honored innovative and effective teaching with the Golden Apple Awards. Now from the Intimon Theater in Seattle, here's our host, Enrique Serna.
Good evening. Hey, once again, you got standing room only. Give yourself a round of applause for turning out here.
Well, Josephine couldn't be here. I'm Moss Bresnahan from KCTS, and that team of Josephine and Greg Davis and Dave Coe have produced these Golden Apple Awards for 5 years and have won an Emmy or been nominated each of those 5 years. So they're just a wonderful team, and I'm so pleased to accept this on their behalf. And also thanks to Enrique Serna for hosting the show. They do a terrific job, and it's wonderful to pay tribute to the great teachers in our state. So thank you all very much.
Next category is Spot News. Are you nominated? Take a peek. And the Emmy goes to...
Breaking news, chaos in Vancouver, BC after the Canucks 4-0 loss to the Boston Bruins in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. Parked cars torched, others tipped over. Tens of thousands of people flood the streets, forcing police to throw tear gas into the crowd.
And things get violent. Police taking down people in the crowd. And Cairo 7's Gary Horker was in the middle of it all at one point.
Okay, here's one of the reasons why this is so humbling. Jim was shooting this riot. He was holding onto his camera here. I was holding onto his belt and holding onto the camera here. The Vancouver police were not ready for this. They were not ready to help us. So I want to say cheers to all the people who have a passion for running towards the danger and shedding light on the darkest parts of human nature. And thanks to Jim for editing this in about 20 minutes. And thanks to our wives for waiting up while we ran from pepper spray and explosions.
Thank you, Cairo, and thank you, wives, for supporting us and helping us. Thank you.
Uh-oh. I know we're in spot news, but ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news here. There is a second Emmy in this category. It's just for my daughter. And the Emmy goes to?
A wild spring storm. Thunder, lightning, and piles of hail so thick it looked like snow, while actual snow piled up in the mountains.
It was scary to watch it move in that quick.
Live team coverage of the wild weather, including a possible funnel cloud, is First on Fox. And good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wayne Garcia. Shauna has the evening off. And First on Fox tonight, from snow to hail to rain, we got slammed with a wild...
Well, how's it going? Hey, being the sole member of my station here tonight because of, oh yeah, right, funny, right? Just because of other projects we have working on, we're very proud of this. Being a former member of this team, it's a heck of a good time. So thank you, we appreciate it. Have a good night.
All I had to do was clean out some old junk. And I got $20 for an old useless regional Emmy. Besides, you can't keep those around the kids. They're so pointy. I mean, could they get any sharper? Who designed those? Ginsu?
Turn your unwanted and otherwise valueless Northwest Regional Emmy into cold hard cash from Cash for Emmys.
I had no idea my completely worthless old regional Emmys were worth anything, let alone cash.
I purchased regional Emmys from all over the country, but few have as little value as the Northwest Regional Emmy. So why not sell it to me? Hello, I'm Lonnie Putnam, president and founder of Cash for Emmys. I have gray hair, which means I'm wise and trustworthy.
I traded in my ex-husband's old worthless Emmys for cash. Besides, how did he win an Emmy? I mean, he has no talent, really.
Just call us and ask for your prepaid return pack. Fill the bag with your unwanted and worthless Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. Then leave them on the curb for our white glove pickup service. I've got another one from the Northwest. Take this to the incinerator. Call Cash for Emmys today because that Northwest Regional Emmy will be worth even less tomorrow.
Call us toll-free or pay a toll. We don't care. Just call and receive more money than you could ever dream of. Unless you're dreaming of more than $30.
Kind of an awkward sponsor. Jeez. Tough economic times. Next category is documentary cultural. Take a look at the screen there at the nominees. Let's see who the Emmy goes to. Put one right.
My name is Ruby Inoue Shu, and I am 90 years old.
Dr. Ruby. Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind about Dr. Ruby is that's all you have to say. Dr. Ruby. And everybody knows who you're talking about.
I'm very proud of my mom. You know, my mom
thank you very much to the Seattle channel, to Peggy Lysett, who was the producer with me in this project, the editor, and the photographer. Dr. Ruby is an amazing woman, and she's got a spirit in her soul that obviously touched other people, and she certainly touched me. She's like in her 90s. She's not doing too well, but her daughter says she gets up and gets dressed every day. And if everyone can just kind of say a little prayer for her. To Shannon G, Community Stories, she's a bomb. And to everyone at the Seattle channel, and to my honey out there who knew I was going to win. Thank you very much.
All right, the next category is documentary, this time historical. Take a look up there. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
Rain or shine, hail or snow, he went out and practiced. There was no coaching. That was his world, just going all the time. But he was a quiet person. He wasn't very talkative.
Well, thank you. Charles Officer couldn't be here tonight, but on behalf of KCTS, we'd like to thank him for putting together an outstanding film about a wonderful athlete and human being. And thank you out there to all the independent documentary and filmmakers out there. You make my job very fun, so thank you very much.
Well done. Next category is documentary topical, which is the one that you rub right on. There's the nominees. Okay, it was right there. It was teed up. Thank you. Did it kill? All right. And it didn't kill? We went over it. Good enough. The Emmy goes to...
The Buffalo have been in here before we've ever been here. And I have an idea they'll be here after we're gone.
The only animal that we don't allow to be wild in North America is the one that was symbolic of the wild.
Sometimes they call this animal...
Doug Haas-Davies couldn't be here tonight to accept this, so I'm here to accept this on behalf of High Plains Films and Montana PBS. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vince Patton.
Good evening. I'm Vince Patton. I'm a producer with Oregon Field Guide, and I am here tonight on behalf of Oregon Public Broadcasting to honor one of the most remarkable people any of us have ever worked with in our careers. That's really no exaggeration. His name is Jeff Douglas. We actually got him off the river, out of his canoe. Thank you for being here tonight after retirement, Jeff. We're very glad you spared some time for us. Actually, Jeff always had time for us. One way we knew was that he still ate lunch in the OPB lunchroom, even after he became a top station executive. Talk about down to earth. Well, Oregonians admire Jeff's folksy on-air demeanor, and everyone who's worked for him has marveled at his hands-off, let them do their job style. So tonight, we are very proud that Jeff Douglas is being inducted into the Silver Circle.
Jeff Douglas first got behind a mic when still in high school at a 40-watt radio station. Then while at Dartmouth, he hosted the #1 morning show in town. Right after graduation, he came to Portland, and shortly after, founded Kink Radio. Yes, at the age of 22, King Broadcasting put Jeff in charge of a brand new station on something called FM.
This is Ronald Holden reporting from the Kinkolodian at Broadcast Center. It is a computerized, automated jukebox. The man who decides what kind of music it will play is Kink's production manager, Jeff Douglas, a Dartmouth graduate and a connoisseur of underground music.
But there are people like Jimi Hendrix and the Vanilla Fudge and Cream, which are being barely exposed to Portland, and we thought we'd expose these, in addition to some folk music.
Much to everyone's surprise, except Jeff's, Kink became a big hit. A decade later, Jeff moved on from Kink to KGW and the exciting world of TV news.
News 8, updates.
In his very first week on the job as a news manager, a United DC-8 crashed into a northeast Portland neighborhood. Jeff had a team on scene before emergency crews arrived, and then made sure the broadcast lights stayed on to help the medics. The very next year, he coordinated KGW's coverage of the biggest natural disaster of a lifetime, the eruption of Mount St. Helens.
Its most violent eruption in 123 years. A wall of water swept through the Toutle River Valley.
After 12 years managing daily news, he crossed town to OPB. Jeff quickly learned he could get out of the office if he worked on Oregon Field Guide.
It's amazing to see what a skier looks like going over 100 miles an hour.
His award-winning documentary on the cleanup of Hanford was seen as critical, yet impeccably fair.
That's the Hanford site. Pristine places and areas with deadly, hazardous, and radioactive waste.
It's no shock Jeff was so good on Oregon Field Guide. He had been a lover of the outdoors his whole life. Basically, he had an excuse to work outside for a decade.
Well, Greg got the thing stuck and I had to bail him out.
I used to white balance on his underwear. That was one of the highlights of my career with him.
You could take white balance off Jeff's skin. I don't think he needed his underwear to do it.
When Jeff made the leap to management and was appointed head of local production, the power went right to his head.
Whoa!
He decided to actually start more local productions. Oregon Artbeat was born, and Jeff did most of the stories the first season. He quickly became its co-host.
We're so glad you've joined us for another edition of Oregon Artbeat. I'm Katrina Sarson.
And I'm Jeff Douglas.
Jeff also created OPB's historical documentary show, Oregon Experience. And he was the driving force behind The Silent Invasion, a special about invasive species that went on to win broadcasting's highest honor, the Columbia DuPont Award.
Jeff is the manager that you hope you're going to have in your...
For the staff at OPB, Jeff stood out as a leader who actually gave them the freedom to do their jobs.
You feel like when someone gives you that level of responsibility and control, you owe it to them to stand up to the job and be there and just do it, right? And Jeff was that kind of boss.
The boss everybody wishes they had. He really is. He's the kind of boss that really mentors you along and teaches you little by little, day by day, kind of year after year, almost without you really even knowing it.
Jeff not only guided and mentored, he laughed. No manager before or since has been so beloved by everyone who worked for him at OPB. As an executive, a worker bee, and a visionary, Jeff Douglas has devoted his entire career to the Northwest, creating a bond of trust and likability with Oregonians for 44 years.
Don't worry, Jeff. You can relax. The cameras are already white balanced. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Douglas.
Thank you, Vince. Thanks so much, Vince. You can see the kind of esteem they hold me in when they show the video of me white balancing on my underwear. But yeah, on a field guide, there's not that many white things to balance on, so you got to be creative. Like Gary before me, I feel incredibly honored, surprised, and incredibly fortunate tonight. I'm honored because I got to work for Dorothy Bullitt. I worked with Ansel Payne and Jack Capel and Tracy Berry. And I know what these people contributed, and it's really an honor just to be included on a list with them. I'm surprised, frankly, because I was never that active in broadcast organizations. In fact, a good part of my career I actually spent trying to do things differently from all the other broadcasters. That seemed to be, if everybody's doing this, I'm going to do something different. And I feel incredibly fortunate because so many times I just happened to be at the right place and was lucky. I mean, what are the odds? I was 22 years old. I'd worked a little bit on a high school radio station like Vince said in the video, but very little experience. And I came out of college, I got to King Broadcasting, and they had an FM license, and I was 22. I turned 22 days before, and they let me program and start this FM radio station, which turned into KINK. And almost 44 years later, it's still going strong. And when we did that, we didn't do any research. We didn't have any focus groups. We just thought of the records. Yeah, we played these kind of records in college. I bet other baby boomers would like them. We we listened to the records and just chose them that way. It was really seat of the pants. And frankly, we were surprised when the first ratings came out, and we were actually gaining an audience right away. There were just a few of us working on it. And we even started making a little bit of money, which they're still doing today. And then I think I was lucky again when I moved over to KGW-TV, also owned by King Broadcasting. It was at the time certainly the best newsroom in Portland. And as the video showed, I'd been there for about a year when Mount St. Helens started rumbling. And I got to be part of covering, probably the best news story of the century after, a year in news. And there was no template for that. I mean, how do you do a volcanic eruption live? And the equipment wasn't as good in those days as it is today. But we figured it out as we went along with that incredible staff. And speaking of making things up, the other story that was just fascinating, and you couldn't have made it up, was that rise and fall of the Rajneeshi clan. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I got to cover that. And that was an incredible story. And storytelling, as has been said before, is really what it's all about. And by the way, I'm looking forward, next season, Oregon Experience on Oregon Public Broadcasting is going to tell the story of the Rajneeshis, and I'm looking forward to that next season. When the news stories started getting shorter and shorter and the live shots started to become the whole thing, I just decided I'd had enough of TV news. I quit and I went on a canoe trip, like you saw in the video, not knowing what I was going to do when I got back. And I'd been back and there was a message on my phone, and OPB had a brand new outdoor program called Oregon Field Guide, and I got to go to work on that. And that was the best reporting and storytelling I've ever been involved in those years on Oregon Field Guide. Just incredible program, and still is today. And then, as the video also mentioned, I was lucky when it got harder and harder to carry the equipment up and down the hills and down the rivers. I was able to start an arts and culture program and an Oregon Experience program on history. But mostly I've been just incredibly lucky to work with the wonderful people that I have at all of those locations, but especially there at Oregon Public Broadcasting. And those people are the reason that I'm standing up here tonight. They are the people who did the work. As you saw in the video and at my retirement party, I thought I was a pretty clever manager, but it turns out they were on to me all along. My trick was I just gave them a lot of responsibility, trusted them to do a good job, and they always delivered. They said they couldn't let you down. So, my advice to any broadcast managers out there is this. Just hire the best people you can find, set some high goals, give them lots of freedom, lots of responsibilities. Let your reporters, producers, and videographers really own that work, back them up, and they give you something better than you can ever imagine yourself. This Silver Circle Award is really an award that they earned on my behalf, but I'm happy to accept it. Thank you.
Congratulations. Because of our Twitter wall, his white balancing off his underwear is now trending worldwide. By the way, do you like that? Is this kind of cool? Because there was some concern. I sort of fought to have this. Isn't this kind of cool, what's happening up here? You guys have played by the rules. Thank you guys so much. All right, here we go with Public Current Community Affairs, a feature segment. Let's take a peek at the nominees here. Let's see who this Emmy goes to.
Early spring in the Willamette Valley might not be the best time and place to shoot an outdoor film.
Okay. It's going to get better here in about 2 minutes.
Waste it. But that doesn't stop John Waller.
We're waiting for the sun to hit that lens so we can get a really nice starburst effect. Hold, cut.
The Portland-based filmmaker makes adventure documentaries on everything from climbing mountains to exploring caves.
Getting started.
Thank you very much. Jeff Douglas was my boss when this story was being made, so thank you to Jeff, first and foremost. Thank you also to John Waller, Will, and Brian for sharing their story with me, and Todd Sonfleeth, amazing videographer, and Michael Bendixson, who you've heard about tonight as well, videographer and editor on this piece. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. I've been asked to clarify and remind you, If you tweet and you put the hashtag NWME, your tweet will appear up there on the screen. And I also want to point out, we have them on both sides. So if you look up there, you see that. You can read it clearly. If you look over here, you see it. If that looks blurry to you, this one over here, you should stop drinking because there's nothing wrong with that projector. It's crystal clear. They're identical. So that's a public service. Speaking of which, Public Current Community Affairs Program Special. Let's take a quick peek here at the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
One person can go out of their way to show compassion. Then they will start a chain reaction.
Powerful words, written by a high school student right before she was killed in one of America's worst school shootings. Rachel Joy Scott, the first victim at Columbine in 1999. An ordinary teenager with extraordinary insight.
All the things she wrote about happened.
The essays and the...
Thank you to King TV and the incredible talent in our programming department and our news department, and I'm just so appreciative to be part of it. So thank you.
Congratulations, Joan. Next category, jumping into commercials, single spot. TV stations, agencies, production companies, everybody's here. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
So victory's the cry of Washington.
All led their lungs together with the rock, rock, rock.
And on the land, the loyal band will sing the glory of Washington forever.
Go Dogs!
We're just so excited to get this because we had so much fun making it, and really thankful to BECU because they just saw our vision and let us do our thing and just had a blast with us, and it was great. And thanks to all the stars from University of Washington that participated and showed their Husky pride.
They say you define yourself by who you define as your enemies. And I'm not sure who to call out, the Oregon guys or Joel McHale for turning us down. Go Dogs. Thank you.
Let me make it easier, because I'm a Cougar. We got him. We got him. All right, here we go. It's going to be fun this year, though, right? This is perfect. Plan's working perfectly. Pirate ship right outside of Motley. This will be perfect. All right, commercial campaign. Have you seen some of these? Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
At LifeWise Health Plan of Washington, we offer dependable, boringly good coverage, and we make your thumb a lot more useful thanks to our new mobile app. Now your thumb can help you quickly find a doctor, show proof of insurance, and call a nurse hotline or customer service with just one touch. I used his face for that. Sorry, buddy.
Wow, thank you. So a lot of people contributed to this spot. So on behalf of Jim Copacino, Betty Fujikato, and the rest of the agency, thank you very much.
Hey, super close-up. We're backstage here. Because the next category is interactivity. I want to show you the hub here. He's actually either a really large guy or this is a tiny computer. But this is where we're controlling we're calling it Twitter fall. This is where all your tweets, hashtag NWME. We know we got a lot of folks watching on the stream right now. Various states around the region, around the country. We'd love to hear from you. You can do that. Now we're done bragging about ourselves. The category of interactivity, you can see right there, the nominees on your screen. And the Emmy goes to...
Joining us, thank you so much for joining and being a part of this and sharing this special day with us. We are doing a mobile tweet up, mobile because we are coming to you, to our Twitter family, to do amazing things and show the power of social media. What you can do is watch us, hi, I'm reading your tweets off of our computer here. We're in a car. We're live streaming to your computer. So this is interactive, a new way to mix television with the internet with our online technology. So I mentor those women, and they helped with the mobile tweet up by tweeting along from our station. So this means a lot to have them hand this. Thank you to everyone at Cairo for saying yes when we asked to do things that have never been done before. Thanks, Paul and Michael. Thanks to my parents who are here from Australia, who gave me the DNA that apparently loves getting online. My husband and daughter for letting me have my second and third and fourth screen in my house every day and loving the online family. Thank you to the online world. We as TV people that can be on the forefront here have a huge job right now. I don't think we should be using the word viewers anymore. We should be using the word teammates, and I would love that word viewers to go away because they really are our teammates. They help create the news. And if we can just stop saying that word viewers, that would be awesome because our teammates rock. Cheers. This is for all of you guys out there that watch us every day and contribute to the news. Thanks.
I have like a million people to thank. I will follow Friday, all of you on Friday. Thank you.
Too many pump fakes. All right. All right, Seattle Times, we see you. Congratulations, by the way. It is kind of fun to see the newspapers getting involved in this. The video divisions, I see you. I see you. Congratulations. This is kind of fun. Things are broadening a little bit here. More and more competition. And none more fierce than in anchor sports. Little tidbit. We're coming up on football season. Don't say it's going to be a physical game. I hope so. It's football. I hate that. That could be a trending thing. All right. Anchor sports. The Emmy goes to
America's favorite pastime. Baseball, hot dogs, and hot dogs.
It's our first annual hot dog competition. We've talked to the contestants. We want a good, fair competition.
Yes, it's a good old-fashioned media hot dog chowdown.
Eat as many hot dogs as I can and not throw up. That's the key.
After introductions, game faces are on. Go!
Well, you know, for us.
Wow. Late last night, 1 a.m., I was watching a HBO Real Sports special. Chris Everett, Martina Navratilova. It was two great friends, two competitors that made each other better. Aaron Levine, thank you for being my Martina Navratilova. Pat, when you hired me at King, I was crying in your office because it was a dream to work at King 5 one day, so thank you. Mark Ginther, thank you for inspiring me, motivating me, everything you do. Wayne Lynch, the names are endless out there. Troy Thomas helped me along the way as well. Elliot Ecke, the first person that hired me, and Amy Belkin back in the day down in Medford, Oregon. So many people. The King 5 Sports Department, this goes to everybody there. My big brother, Paul Sylvia, I love you, buddy. Tony White, the unsung hero at King 5 TV. Joel Knipp, Brandon Matt, Alan Reed, photographer extraordinaire. His mother passed away last week, so Alan Reed, this is for you as well. Thank you, everybody. But most important to me is my beautiful, lovely wife who has been with me since high school sweethearts. I said we're moving to Klamath Falls, Oregon, baby. I'm making $5.50 an hour, and she joined me there. We got a raise to $6.50 an hour. We moved to Medford, Oregon. We went to $7.50 an hour, moved to Boise, Idaho, and here we are in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Thank you very much. And my last story to my wife, and of course my mom and dad and our 3 kids, Luke, Madison, Austin. I love you guys. Go to bed. But my beautiful wife, who's also very humbling, 3 years ago, you all know the Yellow Jackets. I was wearing a yellow jacket in the Safeway store, feeling very good about myself. The promos were running. I was with my wife and kids, going to the Safeway in beautiful Puyallup, Washington. People were like, hey, that's Chris Egan. Hey, Chris Egan, good to see you. Hey, Chris. And I was just at the top of the world. And there is my lovely wife. This was 3 years ago. I know my sports. She looks at me and goes, honey, do you think Matt Hasselbeck wears his Seahawks jersey when he goes shopping? So, to you, I love you, baby. Thank you.
Congratulations to all the winners and all the nominees, but really everybody here is a winner because you get to live and work in one of the greatest areas in the entire world. I know I loved working in my hometown. When I started at Northwest Cable News, it was an honor and a privilege to be able to work for Big Brother King 5. Now here at the Weather Channel, Big Brother is just a little bit bigger.
Excuse me, Big Brother needs a huge favor.
What do you need, Jim?
I got a facial in 15 minutes. I need you to do that NBC hit.
A facial?
A facial.
All right.
A facial. No.
A facial. Okay, NBC.
15 minutes.
All right, I'm on it.
Thank you.
See what I mean? Gotta run. Cheers.
They've done good. And they started right here. That brings us to weather. Let's do anchor weather. Take a quick peek there at the nominees. I was snubbed once again. Oh, well. And the Emmy goes to?
Snow and cold winter temperatures can make comfort, if not survival, a challenge, especially for the creatures that make the snow country their home. But there are also some fascinating stories hidden in the snow. Photojournalist Pete Cassim and I did a little digging into that story over on Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier National Park in winter.
We're well over 600 inches, I would think, by now.
Snow is best measured here by the foot.
Jeff says thank you.
The winner couldn't be here tonight. He's in an oxygen chamber, preserved perfectly. He's the same guy from like 20 years ago. Oh, okay. Here we are with program host, moderator. I know it is. I know. Let's take a look at these nominees. And let's see who this Emmy goes to.
These men in recovery, this climb to the top, doesn't start here at the foot of Mount Rainier. It started in the winter, back in Seattle, with this idea that if they could summit this mountain, they could do anything.
There's nothing I can't do.
Anything after that.
As long as you're facing the right direction.
It's not retreating or going the other way.
Anything is possible. Anything.
For them, anything means one thing.
That thing really took me deep.
Climbing out of their addictions.
Practice.
Thank you. For about, much of the year last year, we chronicled the lives of recovering addicts, formerly homeless guys who were training to climb Mount Rainier, who were at the Union Gospel Mission. And the guy who had more face time than I did on these series of stories in the documentary that we eventually put together was Mike Johnson, who really led the climb before the climb. So I just wanted to introduce Mike, and I think he has a couple of things to say.
All right. Wow. Thank you to King 5 for telling the story. Thank you to John and Doug for telling the story so well. These men continue to inspire me. Thank you to my wife for giving me up for so much extra time to do this. Scott Soul, who did not make it to the top with us, is watching us on the live feed right now. He would have been with us tonight, but he's prepping for another climb. And on Mailbox Peak today, he had to help somebody get down in a stretcher or something, and so he ended up not being here. So hi, Scott. Thank you again. Thank you to King 5 and to John and to Doug.
Hang on. I got to address something. Now, they didn't ask Michael Jordan to ride the bench. They say you're just too good. But we are. Can we all agree on this? We do demand a drug test. Can you just go fill it up? Go fill it up, and then we're good. Questions? Then it's right. Level. That's all we want to know. See if he plugs himself in back there, too. That could be the other cause. Here we go. Reporter, general assignment. Let's take a look at these nominees and find out who the Emmy goes to.
His everything.
The thing that I love, the thing I idolize, is also gone.
What hasn't he been here for? So that's always hard.
Actually didn't get to say goodbye to him the way I wanted to.
Yeah, we saw it on television, saw him carrying Chris out of the crowd. Oh no, man, he's probably brain dead.
And he was.
Gone in a second.
After someone...
I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for Doug Burgess, my partner in crime. He's extraordinary talent for those who've watched his work and have worked with him. Those at King have. thank you, Doug, and thank you, Mark Ginther, for creating this incredible environment at King of storytelling. And I'm just so grateful to be part of that. Thank you.
Congratulations, you passed. That's yours. You can... All right. It smells like excellence. Oh, man. Impressive. Let's go on with the reporter programming category. Take a peek at the screen. Here are your nominees. Okay, front row. Settle a little bit. Bring out the fire hose. And the Emmy goes to...
I guess that's the best thing to do.
Scooter stays behind, crushed.
You know, you just get this sick feeling in your stomach, you know.
I was at a loss.
This is right up there as one of the low points in Scott Soul's life.
And actually thinking about going back to the old ways of life. I probably would have done exactly what Scooter did.
It's not so much what Scooter did, it's what he didn't do.
I was very disappointed.
Left behind.
Thank you, and thank you very much. Scooter, in fact, I was going to pick him up at 3:45 today to bring him to the Emmys. He was going to sit at our table, but as Mike mentioned, he's rescuing someone on the mountain, or was rescuing someone on the mountain, and he didn't make it all the way up. But I think he's determined to do that this year. He's climbing again in July and in August. Thank you so much.
You started it. I think we all know the new drinking game. I don't even have to tell you the rules. This is going to go great. Tonight's going to get really fun. Woo! It's early, too. I got a sitter. My daughters are asleep. All right, here we go. Reporter, specialty assignment. Let's take a peek at the nominees here. They're searching. And the Emmy goes to...
Thousands of miles of track, most of it unguarded.
It's all there to be done.
10,000-ton trains, hundreds of thousands of gallons of hazardous chemicals.
It's just a matter of time. If it's loaded with hazmat, it's not going to be good.
That is a time bomb ready to go off.
In the wrong hands, there is Where's John? Would you like this one too, John? I said it! Okay. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be able to still be here with so many talented reporters in the room, especially investigative reporters in this town. I want to thank Randy Carnell for all his hard work on this story, Jennifer Austin for all of her research and hard work, lots of hours on this story, Holly Gaunt, my beloved news director, who is my mentor and my friend, Jim Clayton for employing me. I still don't know why. Janine Drafts, our soon-to-be new generation of leadership at Como. And I'm just really proud. My wife, Adrienne, who's in the hospital tonight, hoping she feels better. This might help. Thank you.
All right. Well, the finish line is in sight. Take a look. This is all that remains. Yours, Sharifi's. Karnak. No, he's got to be done. He's got to be. Anchor News. That's the category we are at. The best of the best in the room here tonight. There's the nominees, and the Emmy goes to...
K2's Bob High continues our live coverage from the northeast corner of Lonsdale Square. And Bob, what kind of police presence are we talking about right now down there? We continue our breaking news coverage out of downtown Portland right now, where we're just about 45 minutes from the city's deadline for Occupy protesters to leave 3 parks. We've seen dozens of occupiers move out today, but others are pledging not to budge. Portland police are pledging to arrest those people and are asking for their cooperation.
Thank you. Well, if you can't tell, I'm the only representative from K2 here tonight. But on behalf of Steve Dunn, thank you very much. Working with Steve since I've been at K2 for now almost 6 years has been a fantastic relationship. He is a mentor to everyone in our news department. He was up against some really strong competition here. So, again, I'm sure he's thrilled, and thank you from Steve.
Congratulations. And that brings us to news producer. Are you one? Are you one of these nominees? Let's find out who this Emmy goes to.
The wettest storm of the year smacks western Washington. It turned a road into a river, brought down a roof, knocked down tree limbs and power lines, and snarled traffic in the mountains.
The wind from overnight is gone, but it's been replaced by rain and lots of it.
The Como News Network is on top of this November storm. Mark Miller is live in the rainy North Sound. Ray Lane and Steve Cooley.
I am obviously not Jill, but I accept this for her. She's home with her husband tonight, and to a great Como producer. Thank you very much.
That brings us to writer for news. Best of the best in this room. Let's take a peek at those nominees. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
It's a quiet place. The city waking up. Listen to the quiet of the early morning hour. Surrendering to the noise.
The love of this craft I share with my father, who's at 86 is still writing poetry and who's recovering in the hospital right now. He's been in and out of the hospital the last few months, so I definitely dedicate this to my dad and can't wait to see him soon and tell him all about this evening. Thank you.
Weird. Budweiser stock just went up. Good news. Here we go. Category of writer program. Jumping from news to program for the writers. And the Emmy goes to...
This is an incredibly cool climb. One step at a time through the snow.
Nothing but darkness those first few hours.
Look up the mountain and see the lights of the climbers ahead of you.
And I hope Scooter's all right. I hope he can settle with this. We all thought about him, you know, he's an awesome brother.
With 2 hours to go to reach the summit.
The sun starts to come up and you can...
Well, thank you. I dedicate this one to my dad as well. You know, it was a climb of a lifetime, but as I've told Mike many times, it was a story of a lifetime for me, and I believe for Doug as well. Mark Ginther, thank you so much for devoting the resources you did to this project. I just can't imagine any other newsroom having that kind of commitment to one story. Thank you.
That should be good. Caught up. Okay. Let's see the benefit for us in this room. Entry fees alone, he has made us $10,000. Here's the category of photographer, news. Could it be you? Here we go. Let's see. The Emmy goes to...
Delicate dance. Police officers riding beside Occupy Seattle protesters 1 minute and standing in front of them next. Moments earlier, tempers also flared down the road when 5 protesters linked by pipes occupied this Chase Bank branch.
The bank then shut down.
Chris's flip cam was rolling.
Holy cow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, look at the nominees. Jesus, God, Kurt Austin, Jeff Christian. I mean, Doug Burgess. I'm so humbled to accept this. So usually, My mother comes up with me for this, but she chickened out before. So, I don't even know what to say. Thank you guys. I'm so humbled. The nominees, it's just crazy. Thank you guys.
Enjoy it, dude. I just saw Sharifi mess around with the camera backstage.
So this is the white balance? And I could do a rack. Okay, that's easy enough.
There's got to be something for us. Photographer program is the category. Let's take a look at those nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Climbing a mountain for me is a commitment.
Like most of us who never get this close to this Northwest icon.
And now here we are right in front of it.
Today's the day.
These men, until now,
We're there, looking at it.
have admired the beauty of Mount Rainier.
I want to thank Mike Johnson first, John Sharifi. This was an amazing adventure. John came to me one day in the newsroom and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing a story about climbing Mount Rainier?" And I said, "Yeah, that sounds good." And I didn't know what I was getting into, not so much on the physical side, but getting involved with these guys from the Union Gospel Mission and what they were going through. It was a 6-month commitment, and it changed my life in a lot of ways, and I'm glad that they let me be involved in it. And thanks to Mark and Pat and Ray for giving us the environment to do what we do at our station, and thank you very much.
Lights, camera, Emmy. Northwest Regional Emmys, the home game. It's a roll of the dice, just like choosing broadcasting for a career.
Aw, man, I gotta move back to Marcus.
Get your assignment from the cue cards.
Uh-oh, drunken acceptance speech. Been there.
Why spin the news when you can spin the wheel and see if you're a winner? And the Emmy goes to...
Oh, man, Sharifi again?
It's all right, honey. He's an animal.
It's fun for the whole family, but more fun for the winner.
Oh, no, he lost their affiliation.
Experience sweet success.
Hey, I received an Emmy!
And the bitter taste of defeat.
Ah, but wait, there's a second winner in this category.
Oh, man, I hate that.
Someone's gonna win, whether they deserve it or not.
Yes! If it bleeds, it leads.
Northwest Regional Emmy home game. For ages 4 and up, batteries not included. And coming soon, Northwest Regional Emmy Award winner Barbie.
I won, and another contract.
A big thank you to the gorgeous Madeline Cashman for playing principal game player in that. I will say nothing other than I promise you I did that weeks ago. Karnak. The next category, photographer, video essay. There are the nominees. Take a gander and let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
7 dozen baseball, 81 games a year, times 19 years. That comes up to just about 130,000 baseballs. Every single baseball that's ever been played in this stadium, I've rubbed mud on.
Welcome to the Seattle Mariners umpires locker room, and I'm the equipment manager for the Seattle Mariners umpires. I do everything.
I hate this. There's so many talented storytellers in this region. I'm honored to be standing up here and to be in the same room with all of you tonight. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, and my sister for their support and love and for encouraging me to always ask questions and to truly care about people's stories. And to Ben Sabunchin and Greg Grinnell, two of the finest in the market at what they do and two of my greatest mentors, thank you for taking me under your wing. And I have to say thank you to Joanne Lasowski, my professor at POU, who's backstage, and if I didn't thank her, she would wring my neck. So thank you very much.
And perhaps most importantly to his fiancée, who is waiting for him right off stage, who is currently doing the, I was right there taking your photo. He was thinking it. He was thinking it. I told you, it's scary up here. Video journalist. There's the next category. Here's the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
Born and raised on a pig farm, Lindy Hinkleman picked up the family business.
Just a way of life that I really enjoy.
And has passionately raised his own pigs for the last 40 years.
They're actually a fairly easy animal to raise.
He cares for an average of 400 to 500 pigs at a time.
The sows probably get between 5 and 6 pounds a day.
Feeding them.
You ready?
Wow. First Emmy. I don't even really know what to say. I'd just like to thank all the people that have kind of mentored me through my transition over the past couple of years from a photographer to this now one-man band position. So thank you to everyone. And then I want to especially thank my wife for being here tonight with me. We had just had a baby about 3 weeks ago, and she was really worried that she wasn't going to fit into anything tonight, but she's here supporting me. Sweetheart, you look very beautiful. So, thank you.
We can get one of these guys to fix that. Editor News. For the replay, there are the nominees. And the Emmy goes to...
He's doing spins, doing jumps. I was doing tricks before I even knew there were tricks. I wouldn't get off of it. It started from that. I'm definitely skating because I want to progress in it.
At the age of 6, Mitchie became the youngest ever to drop into a 13-foot vertical ramp.
It was a lot of fun.
That was the wonderful Emmy Award-winning Chris Egan, sports anchor on that story, who gave the best speech tonight, I have to say, so I'm not going to beat that. Except thank you, Val. Good night.
All right. Here's the heavy lifters. Editor program. This is it. It's your time. Let's see who the Emmy goes to.
I just stayed focused. I was like, I can't look at the other climbers because I don't want to see somebody get hurt. It was truly a challenge.
The mountain is more intimidating than anyone imagined.
I mean, the mountain is so enormous.
The Riddictions took them down. Now they're climbing back up to a place they've never been.
Yeah, guess where we're at? Woo!
When I got to the mountaintop, it was like I just started bawling.
When I got to the mountaintop, I started bawling too, but for a different reason. It was otherworldly. Again, thanks to the people at Union Gospel Mission, Mike Johnson, and I'm going to name them all by name. I hope I can remember their roles. Daniel, Marcus, Scott, Lee, and there were a couple others in and out of there. They're amazing guys going through things that we can't even imagine. And they're not the most sympathetic characters in the world, but we like to tell their stories, and they're human beings, and I was glad to be there with them, and this is for them. Thank you very much.
All right. Our next category, I was disappointed to find out in college, did not mean painting nude women. Graphic arts. Here are the nominees. And let's find out who this Emmy goes to.
The world's largest museum library system. And our doors are open to you. We are educators and researchers dedicated to helping us all understand the forces of nature and culture that continue to shape our world. We are conservators, committed to preserving and digitizing an aging legacy, allowing us to share more than 50,000 rare books and manuscripts.
I'd say it's an honor, I must say. I'd like to thank my wife and the many wonderful people that I work with every day. Dana Jensen, who heads the creative organization and inspires me often. I've been waiting to get this fillet out of my teeth, so this will help. But it truly is an honor, and I appreciate the recognition.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Here we go. You got to be ready at all times for this. Breaking news. Let's see who handled it the best. There's the nominees. Let's find out who this Emmy goes to.
With the Friends of Amanda Knox here in Seattle. Teresa, take it away.
Well, Mark, this room just burst into applause, clapping, saying she's free, she's free. Folks here were literally gripping onto each other's hands. Take a look. Right now, you can see right now just the folks bursting into tears. These folks have been waiting 4 years to hear that free verdict, and they gathered here since 7 o'clock last night. It has been a
I've never held one of these before. I've told the story, probably my wife's heard it like a dozen times already. This was probably the one time I remember being off my chair in the booth, and the folks at the other stations in town were probably the same way. Just waiting for that verdict and being witness to history, and it was pretty cool. So, thanks.
And thanks to Linda Byron, who covered this story for 4 years, was in Perugia, and added the context and the understanding and the telling of this story. Thanks a lot, Linda.
No, I got you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I can confirm that there is a second Emmy in this category.
We have an emergency.
That's the last one, Maddie. Go to bed. And the Emmy goes to?
We have an emergency that we want to tell you about right now in the North Seattle area, getting reports of possible explosion and a fire at 117th and Corliss Avenue, and there could be some injuries here.
Right. We have Jeremy Grader on the phone with us. He's from Como News Radio and lives nearby. Jeremy, we're saying that we're hearing reports of an explosion. You actually felt one.
Yeah, definitely. We were woken up by something. It felt like maybe a tree or something fell on our house. So I jumped out of bed and went outside and tried to look around and looked out over the lake that we lived.
As always, I'm simply accepting for a phenomenal team of journalists. I think with this category, it certainly starts with the assignment desk, the reporters, the photographers, the producers. This is for all of you.
Here we go into the newscasts. A lot of you involved. Now the evening and morning news separated by 1 hour. Come on already. 4:30. This is mean. News directors go, let's just say it's 4. They'll produce it, run the promo. They'll have to show up. It's funny. Morning daytime news, markets 81 plus. Take a peek there. And let's see who the Emmy goes to.
You're watching KTVB, Idaho's News Channel 7, with Maggie O'Mara, Doug Petcash, and meteorologist Larry Gever. This is today's morning news.
Tragedy in Moscow. 22-year-old graduate student Katie Benoit of Boise was shot and killed. Police say a former University of Idaho assistant professor took her life, then his own.
And now the search for a
Very pleased to accept this again on behalf of KTVB. I once competed against them in Boise for a couple of years, and it would really put things into perspective when you would get the book back and you would look at one night of KTVB, and their market share in one night is what you had cumulatively for the whole week. And they just put out a great product and continue to do to do so all these years later. So congratulations to them.
All right, since we are there, markets 81 plus, let's do evening news. Let's find out. A lot of folks coming from out of state, and we love that. Let's see who this Emmy goes to.
Starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? Can I have your attention, please? Time of death was 9:15. The procedures are complete.
After decades of legal wrangling and calls for mercy, an Idaho killer is put to death.
Today marked Idaho's first execution in almost 20 years.
And convicted triple murderer Paul Ezra Rhodes died by...
I'm here to accept this award for John Bobango. Couldn't be here tonight because he didn't want to dress up. So I'm sure he's watching and freaking out. And next year, it's really on. Thank you.
Well done. Go that way, don't. He's camera shy. You're in the biz. That's good. Morning and daytime news. Let's do markets 21 to 80. All right? Morning, daytime news, markets 21 to 80. There are the nominees. And let's see who the Emmy goes to.
Live in HD, this is K2 News This Morning on your side.
It is what's left over after heavy rain and flooding, a log jam near a major bridge. Where this is happening and how they're trying to clean it up.
Also, a violent explosion caught on camera. What caused the fire that sent flames shooting hundreds of feet into the air? Plus...
How do you like this?
Thank you. This is an unbelievable honor. I'd like to thank my whole team, everybody on the air, off the air. What I think is really special about this is the show that we submitted was just kind of one of our regular newscasts. We trying for excellence every day, and I appreciate the judges recognizing that. Thank you.
Congratulations. Here we go. Let's move up to evening news, also in markets 21 to 80. This is it. Is this your moment? Let's find out who the Emmy goes to.
Hello, I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Tracy Berry. First at 6, the latest on the disaster in Japan, where it is now early Saturday. There have been scores of aftershocks, more than 100 that are at least a magnitude 5.
The death toll, there's no real figure right now. As many as 300 bodies have been found just in the city of Sendai. More than 700 people are missing.
Japan's nuclear safety agency is in a state of emergency. That's because of cooling.
This is one of those true team efforts. All the newscasts are, but never few as much as this one. I want to thank everybody at KGW who worked on this. There's a few of them down there tonight. So you guys rock. Best news team I've worked with, and I appreciate you all. Thanks.
Hi. I do love this in the Northwest. We have kind of a unique thing, depending on who you talk to. Seattle represents the largest market, 14, 13, 12. Kind of depends on who you talk to. But in the Northwest, we also represent the opposite end of the spectrum. Glendive, Montana is 210. We cover the bridge between that entire gap, and that's a pretty cool thing. And that's why we're jumping into morning daytime news, markets 1 through 20. Let's take a peek here at the nominees. Good fanfare, thank you. And do it when I say, and the Emmy goes to...
KOMO 4 News starts right now.
The snow keeps coming while you were sleeping. Some areas got dumped on and others only saw a trace.
For the morning commute, the threat of those slick roads should not be taken lightly. We have many examples of that this morning from Snohomish, Skagit, and Pierce counties, just to name a few.
All night we've seen shots like this, cars spinning out in South King County. Icy roads turned deadly overnight.
Wow, this is a huge surprise, so I don't know what to say, but thank you very much. I'm so proud of the team at KOMO. Molly, thank you, part of the show. Christine, thanks for being here. I'm so proud of the team at KOMO.
very hardworking group. Want to thank Jim and Holly. I mean, you just couldn't ask for two more supportive, wonderful managers. Thank you for the team. Thank you.
All right. This is perfect. Take a look at your watch. We are right on pace for this next winner to publish this for the 10 o'clock. You got 9 minutes to get this all set. Evening news, markets 1 through 20. You could brag about it tonight. The Emmy goes to...
Right now. Night falls and the snow keeps coming. Highways covered in white, lined with abandoned cars. Drivers who stuck it out are now just stuck.
Even those who escaped the flakes this morning are now facing a messy commute tomorrow.
The evening commute stayed fairly calm around Seattle.
But drivers who hit the road a little bit later ran into big-time trouble.
We have a network of reporters spread out around the Sound to show you what's going on now to prepare for tomorrow.
Steve.
I first want to say I think it says something that there are so many Como producers in this category. I work with a fantastic group of producers. Our pod is so talented. I'm just so proud to work with them every day. Thank you very much for this. Thank you, Jim and Holly, for your continued support. I have to say thank you tonight to someone who, we all have that person who has supported us from the day we were born throughout our life, someone who's a second mother to me, who passed away a few weeks ago. So to my Aunt Sarah, I want to dedicate this to her. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, bringing this home to the finish line here. We are on pace to finish up right at 10 o'clock. The bar is open in the center of the casino. I expect to see all of you there. Who should buy drinks tonight? I heard a lot of right answers there. Consider selling them. You get your cash right away. All right, here we go. This is it, the moment you've all been waiting for. Bragging rights for an entire year. Thumb in everyone else's nose. Station excellence. Here are the nominees. Let's see who excelled more than any other station. And the Emmy goes to...
This is a live picture from inside court in Perugia, Italy. Amanda Knox is expected to learn her fate in about 30 minutes from now.
King 5's Linda Byron is live in Perugia with more on what has been an agonizing wait for everyone involved in this, Linda.
It certainly has been an agonizing wait, and I could see the relief on the parents' faces when they were told that a verdict has been reached and it will be announced in about 30 minutes. They are, of course...
I'm absolutely the wrong person to be up here to accept this, but in Mark Ginther's never-ending quest to kiss up, I stand before you. Thanks to NATAS for recognizing the efforts of King TV this year. They've done amazing work, and I appreciate them every day, and I know that our community does as well. So thanks to all of you for your efforts that you do. I also want to thank all of the stations in Seattle, because I think of the great work that we do. We've traveled around the country, as all of us do, and you look at our market and you think we do some pretty incredible work. So I want to thank all of the stations in our market, because we push each other to be better, and you've all pushed us to be better, and I hope we've done the same for you. So thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everybody at the Northwest chapter of NATAS, thank you so much for being here for the 49th Annual Northwest Regional Emmy Awards. Can we count on you for the 50th? We're going to add pyrotechnics, tigers. Thank you so much for being here on behalf of everybody here behind the scenes in the truck. I'm unrestricted free agent Chris Cashman reminding you, do your part to help control noxious weeds. Good night.
And now we resume our scheduled program.